Hey, welcome to Real Talk Live, where the talk is real and the entertainment's cheap. My name's Todd. This is AJ.
Yo.
And we're back. Next to me is the man himself. A legend, you might say. You'll get to know that. David. David, I don't believe you've ever been on live, have you?
One time.
You were on live?
One time.
I thought
He's been on. So you've been on web series and live.
Yeah, because back in the day, he wouldn't go on live. He would only go on the web series.
that's
Long
right.
story. But that was a great episode. Anyway, we'll tell you more
fun.
about David. He's one of our buddies, our brother. We love him a lot. Hey, Sydney, I'm back. Maybe a one-time thing. So we'll lose some and gain some. Depends on. Anyway, really great to see you guys. We're going to give you a couple seconds. Help us out. We got 19 people. Let's smash some records today.
Go.
Old Toddy's back on Facebook for a little bit. So what does that mean?
That means
I don't
go
know.
Cowboys.
It means why? It means let's take this opportunity to welcome you back for one day. So go share this. Invite your friends. I can tell you this right now. You all know that I tend to be a cup half empty kind of guy. Hey, John. We all know it. It's okay. I'm doing better. But so when I say this, it's not hyping it up. For a fact. These questions today are unbelievable.
Oh,
We've
they're
got
very
some
good
real
questions,
questions. You
man.
want to stick around. David, a great day for you to be here. I didn't even know that because you like to think, and these are good ones.
Right, man.
So, hey, Tim says, oh boy, I'm here for DJ Master Ludi.
Yeah.
Hey, Jordan.
Erase it now.
Hey, Greg. Hey,
Erase
Tim.
it
Hey,
now.
Trent. Hey, Pastor Jim.
What up?
Hey, Willie. Richard's here. John. Amber.
Trent says the Ludi Meister.
OMG, Sydney's back. Thank you, Sydney. I love you. Hey, John. Missed you, guy.
Rights.
You know, so excited for these back too. The Ludemeister.
Yes.
Jordan Wetzel Bennett. Why are you lying? Notorious BG. Todd, how'd you sleep? Good question. I opened the pack and left it here, so we'll find out tonight. Ask me tomorrow. Dude, he came up with another nickname, the Looney Lude.
I'm done.
Let me tell you something right now. For a guy who's making up nicknames you don't like, he's very sensitive about nicknames. So you,
That's good to know.
yeah.
That's,
If he doesn't like the
valuable.
nickname,
Call him Soldier Boy.
don't call him that. No, I'm serious. I didn't say
dance on
it.
it.
I didn't say it.
I didn't say it.
So anyway,
That's great.
I'm really excited to see you guys for real. You guys know the crew, maybe you don't. Behind the camera, the TV, the lights over here, hidden in the shadows like a handsome, tall guy, is fun guy Austin, that not to be confused with mold, but fun male Austin. He's got what we're going to do for real random. Back in the back, manning the ship. You know him, you love him. He stood in here. Production guy Blake. He's waving, which you can't see. There it is. And then somewhere legitimately creeping in the shadows, I cannot see him, is Fun Turn Clit.
There he is.
Okay.
I see arms.
Yeah.
I see arms.
Help us out. Hey, Denise, what's up?
Yo.
So we're going to have a great show. And
Yeah, man. I'm excited for today.
yeah, me too, man. So what we're going to do is we've introduced the crew. We're going to move right into it. We're going to move fast today. You guys want to share this? We're going to go to Real Random to buy you time.
It's random.
To get people on here. I'm telling you right now. I know we joke a lot. We're going to have fun, but there are some real questions here that I guarantee you some of you have had that you've been afraid to ask. And we're going to ask them, even if some of them are going to be uncomfortable to talk about.
Yes, sir.
Because that's what we do.
That's what we do. We chop
So-
it up.
Here he is, my good friend, fun guy Austin, Real Random. It's some logo's gonna show up on your screen right now. Come on
All
over,
right,
buddy.
Here he comes.
As
He's
people
making,
cheer.
he's making the cameo here.
So I'm going to give you these.
Somebody's gonna pull up the YouTube.
I
Oh,
will let you try them, and then I will explain what it is that you are doing.
okay. Now, so everyone understands because they can't see what we can see. On the surface, these appear to just be peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, which excites me.
Oh, me too, man. I
You're
love
leery,
PBJ.
as am I, because there's no way you would just give us tasty sandwiches. So I know for a fact, you already know, don't you? Yeah, you do. You already know. So, hey, production guy, can you stay on YouTube as well so that crew, in case we come in and out? Thank you, sir.
the man.
I think I'm the only one on YouTube right now. Anyway, I'm going back to Facebook because I'm never there. All
right,
right.
man.
So do you need to say anything else to us or we just eat?
Nope, I'll let you guys try it, and I'll let you try to guess what it is before I explain.
So people understand what's going down here. Real Random is an opportunity usually for him to make us miserable
Yep.
by hot stuff, which I'm so thankful I wasn't here last week or the week before.
Yeah.
So we're going ahead and get going here.
All right, man.
Would you like to grab your own sandwich, David? You're not going? That concerns me. If David's not eating one at all.
David's like, I'm not doing this.
No.
All right, here we go. We're having some fights here. Eminem can't go. Oh, dude, you're right. I love peanut butter and jelly. Here we go.
Yep.
Share it, guys. If you're new, this isn't just a show about guys eating peanut butter sandwiches. This is going to hurt us in some capacity. After that, we're going to get to other stuff.
That's right.
You guys are manly.
Is that Reaper? Are you lying?
I'm not lying. It's not.
It tastes like Reaper.
It's not Reaper.
I did a good thing.
You did this?
No, I did a good thing not eating that.
It's the heat's not terrible, but it has. I have taste aversion now whenever I taste certain peppers because of the pain. And this is one.
This
of them.
literally
This
tastes
is
like a
on
Reaper,
the list.
dude.
I thank you. Are you
Literally.
sure it's not a Reaper, dude?
I'm positive.
This is insane.
All right, well, tell us what it is.
You are eating
'Cause it has a certain flavor,
Southwest
dude.
Specialty Foods habanero kickin' peanut butter.
Wow.
The peanut butter
It's the
itself is
peanut
the heat?
butter.
Peanut butter itself. It's habanero peanut butter.
If it didn't taste like a Reaper, I wouldn't mind it.
No, I mean,
Fun
still
fact,
peanut butter.
When I try everything before I bring it on the show for the guys, and I tried this with production guy Blake.
Hey,
tried
Manny.
it with Reese's peanut butter,
Okay.
like little chocolates, and it was phenomenal.
You didn't throw any of those in here for us, did you?
Now, do you want me to get you some?
So, you guys know the deal.
Why'd you make so many?
Yeah, exactly. He made like
The more
40.
greedy we eat.
So, essentially, if you're new here, what we're gonna do? It never trust the Dow. Exactly. I always doubt the Dow.
Yeah. We still have that cup somewhere. I love
So, here's what we're gonna do here. Yeah, I should use that cup. We're gonna rate this on flavor and heat. Do you eat any hot stuff?
I sweat with barbecue sauce.
Then yeah, you shouldn't eat
No.
this. Because I was gonna say on the scale of heat, it's manageable.
it. Yeah.
Again, I love peanut butter, so why would I ever choose this over normal peanut butter? I couldn't tell you.
No.
But anyway, AJ, flavor?
Flavor, I'm gonna give it because it reminds me of a Reaper pepper, literally like a Reaper. I'm gonna give it a 2.
It doesn't,
I
Josh.
don't like it, man.
Heat? Oh, you want me to go flavor first? No, heat and flavor. Or for heat now.
Heat, I'm gonna give it a 4. It's not that hot.
I'm actually going to be exactly with him on this. I'm going to give it a 2. Oh, hey, Lexi. I'm going to give it a 2. She's the prettiest girls in the world, Lexi. Anyway, yeah, 2 flavor because it does taste like. Here's the way I would describe a Reaper flavor. If you don't know, Reaper tastes like hot dirt. That's the only way I can describe it. Am I wrong?
That's weird.
You know what's crazy? I'm glad you said that because my mind was thinking of like a highway, like dust rolling across.
Oh, okay.
What do they call it?
Thought you were going to go with the highway life again. I was like, listen, man.
Stop.
No,
We're all
I was thinking of the what do you call those things that roll across the highway?
Tumbleweeds.
Tumbleweeds.
Well done.
Reminded me of tumbleweeds.
However, heat. I got to compare it to everything we've ever eaten, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
That's why I'm
give.
giving it a
I'm
4.
I'm giving it a 5 because I think it's hot enough that it's like right in the middle, like because there is a lingering heat to it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a. And normally I'm probably lower on the heat than you,
Yeah, usually.
but you're not today. I'm going 5 and a 2. 2 flavor, 5 heat. We need to start making a master list of this that throws up at
That's such a
times,
good idea.
like a thermometer with like AJ's head turned red
That'd be
at
great.
the top.
Like
Or the meme
take a
picture.
Dry like the
screenshot of
desert.
face from
Exactly.
the Pocky Chip Challenge.
You know what's
Oh,
bizarre?
I got a screenshot of you.
Oh no.
That's hilarious. Sounds like something you could use in that spicy Thai peanut sauce. She talking about you, dude?
No.
I love spicy Thai peanut sauce. Anyway, it's pretty good, man. I'm glad you're not giving free ads. It is
That's right,
hot.
Richard.
Yeah, it has that lingering flavor to it. And I did check the ingredients multiple times. It does say habanero.
Production guy, what do you think of it?
Oh boy, I had the honor of trying it
Reese's.
Not with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's not how I tried it.
You
I
just
tried
say a
it with
spoonful?
I tried it with a Reese's peanut butter square.
And
Flavor with that included, I'd give it like a 6.
Holy.
And he I was right with you guys at about a 4.
But you guys are good with the heat.
we are higher than we used to be. Yeah,
Yeah.
I will say I've kind of restarted.
Oh, me too.
I think last year this would have probably been like or 2 years ago.
Oh, it would have been much lower.
Yeah, man,
Like a
because there was a
3.
point when like I was getting like normal heat I can handle. Now I've lost it.
Oh, 100%. It's a tolerance.
Johnny
thing, man.
Scoville would be disappointed in me.
Absolutely.
I'm no longer a pepperhead, as he called it. Oh, hey, Jane.
Yo, Gene.
Sorry, if that's your real name.
Hey,
I wonder why it does that. I have to touch it in order for the comments to appear.
That's
Have you
weird.
noticed that?
I have not noticed that.
Anyway, guys, help us out. Hey, production, how many shares we got? I already know we don't have 22.
We have
14.
8 shares right now on
8?
Facebook.
You say 8?
8.
If
I'm
more, if
sleeping.
we don't
I'm
at
sleeping.
least get 16 in 4 minutes, I'm literally signing off the show.
Wow.
That's
You
ridiculous.
guys hear that?
22 people,
right.
and that's half our church. No, I'm just kidding. Not size wise, meaning the people that are on here. Yeah, that's just going to strengthen the idea that people think we're the little church that could. I forgot.
Come on.
I know.
I
Past that.
just shared.
Yeah, I didn't share either because won't help. But you guys should share. 8 out of 22. Is it going up, production guy? Can I have a hoodie?
Come on.
We're at 14 shares right now.
She's saying-
16
I'll tell you a
shares
story
right now.
about that in a minute. Not 16?
16.
Then the show stays on. Well done for
Wow.
Nice. That went quick, bro. They're like, no.
Hey, real quick. So, Mandy
Mm-hmm.
used to be a giver to the show.
Yes.
Well, I'm on the show, so I was like, this is redundant. Why would you do this? You know what I mean? Like, but she stopped giving right as soon as we started giving the real one. She was a
Oh
real
my
one before
gosh.
anyone, and
That's
got
so
nothing.
funny.
So yeah, we might. Yeah,
We should gift her something.
that's up to you, man. Because I
I
can't.
think we should.
Favoritism can't ever look.
I
like it's real.
understand.
That's why I choose to be more mean. No, I'm just kidding.
More mean.
Just kidding. Anyway, I'm sure you're going to eat more of these,
Like,
AJ,
oh,
because that's who you are.
Keep him away, man.
I'm gonna miss your face, man.
there's so many.
I can grab a chair. I'll come
You
back.
look really tired today.
Been long.
Look how handsome you look on the camera.
Look at him.
Look at him. You want to eat one?
No.
Oh, you want them out of your
I
face?
was just moving it from
Oh.
the Bible.
Yeah, thank you. Put them in the front there. All right, thanks, dude.
Yep.
I'd give you a
appreciate
hand,
you,
but
fun
no
guy.
one will hear it.
Please.
All right, we're moving on next to a time when you, my friends, get to win a prize. What's the segment? Production guy's going to tell you all about it. Production guy?
Remnant Roulette. It's an opportunity where we ask you guys out there a question. You answer it, you get added into our database, and we choose a winner at random. But you got to stick around, and you got to be on to win your prize.
We usually announce that probably about 9:45, 9:50.
There it is.
So,
Boom. Stick around,
big
folks.
prize. It's going to be, I'm telling you, the prizes are getting better and better. I'm going to ask a question before they do. Have we given people their prizes since
I
I've
believe
been here?
so, man. Fun Guy's been on top
Dude,
of it.
Fun Guy doesn't play around, man.
He doesn't.
Thank
man.
you, Fun Guy.
Yeah, he's
All right.
he's a beast, man.
So you guys heard it from him. We're going to ask a question. We'll discuss it as you guys buy time. Drop your answer in the comments, whether that's on YouTube or Facebook. You will then get entered into an anonymous, or it's not called anonymous. What is it? Random drawing.
A pool.
Yeah.
A drawing pool.
Josh says no. Josh, did
said
you
it
win a
like he
prize and didn't get it?
invented
Uh-oh. So he's going to pull it, and you will, you'll get entered into the prize. And we really do
Yo,
give
we're
it
rolling
27. Let's
27
get
deep.
this going. How many you got on
Let's hit
YouTube?
30.
Wow.
We have, looks like, currently one person on YouTube.
Yeah.
Is that you?
It's not me.
Okay. I got free
Nice.
coffee for my prize, so that's what's at stake here. It could be.
What's up, Carly?
Well, Fun Guy's pretty cool. He actually kind of does it depending on the person, what they like, which I
It's
think
true,
is pretty
man.
neat.
He's pretty personal.
So, what's the question, my good friend?
This week's
Josh,
Remnant
answer the
Roulette
question.
question. You guys have 5 minutes to answer.
Look, it
But
doesn't
this
show.
week's question is, when did you first feel like an adult? When was the first moment you
question,
felt
man.
like an adult?
Oh, hey, Carly.
I like this question.
When did you first feel like an adult? Go ahead, AJ.
I would say I first felt like an adult probably a week after high school. Yeah, a week ago. Yeah.
1 week ago.
That's what I.
You said a week after high school?
Yeah.
Oh
'cause-
yeah, happy birthday, Amber.
Happy birthday. Someone pay attention to me. Yeah, man. I would say. I would say it was about a week after high school because when I graduated high school, I had a week where I had like a week off before I actually started going to work, and I was going to work with my dad in construction, which is so ironic that I did construction, because I'm terrible with my hands. So, yeah, man, I would say after that first week, that's when adulthood kind of hit me. I was like, I guess this is life, man. Just working now, huh? So.
Real quick reminder before we go. I've been told this, and I'm going to tell production guys to remember. Let's move the questions to the top of the screen moving forward. People have
Yes.
complained they can't see us. I've brought this up numerous times.
I will get that next week.
No, production guy will. Production guy, get that.
I got you.
Anyway, that makes sense. So when you started working right after high school,
That's right.
real job.
Yep.
All right. Do you want to go second, my friend? So you don't have
Sure.
to. Okay. When did you feel like an adult?
I would say it was with my first serious job in a factory when I started getting benefits, and then they asked me if I wanted to invest in a 401k.
What?
And I was like, "What is that? What is a 401k?"
You're like, I'm an adult now.
Yeah, it felt weird.
Yeah,
Josh, that's
dude.
ridiculous. First night I spent in the county ... hotel. Yeah, I don't
wanna
think you
fight
meant a
him.
hotel. Probably the first time I did my taxes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and I'm not just saying this.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, Todd, you always think deep. It's kind of. I don't know if there's ever a moment when I realized it because I kept waiting for a moment when I would feel like a man, and then all of a sudden you look around, and you're like, I don't think that moment's coming. I got to just be one. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I felt sometimes.
like
Like,
this-
oh, I'll grow up. Yeah, that would be a big one, Jim. Moving 600 miles away
Yeah.
on your own. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I would say that because, like, even college, you still feel like I went to college after college because, like, bills and stuff, I think I definitely worked in a factory and I hated it,
Yeah.
but I still didn't. It made me almost feel in fear, like I wasn't an adult, because I was like, how are these people doing this for 40 years? You know, some of those guys that would work in those factories.
Yeah.
Because I would go, there's no way I could do it. So I think it's interesting, at least for a guy. I'm curious if you guys ever think that, but like I don't know a moment. Like you kind of, when I was growing up, I felt like there would be a moment when I'd wake up and go, I'm a man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
But
fair.
that moment doesn't come. It's like a slow fade,
A
sort
bunch
of.
of small.
Agreed,
moments.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I actually agree
That makes
with that.
sense.
We got a lot of cool answers here, though. Where I say when I had to start working at a factory with my mom, first night I slept in my house and moved out. I still kind of don't feel like an adult. I get that. I guess when me and this, oops,
That right there.
this,
Yeah.
This?
That live. It'll glow. No, make it
why
live.
isn't it weird? Oh, you see,
Look at it. Yeah.
you can do it if you want.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Sorry,
He's gonna help me. I don't know
Let me
tech.
see
No,
this
thank
thing.
you. This is my life, dude. See, close out of it, maybe.
That's odd.
That's my life, dude.
That's
Sorry,
odd.
It's okay. I'll try to get back in.
Let's see. John
Okay.
says it's when he got his first
I think it might
job.
be working now.
I hope so.
Luke says when I signed the papers to buy my own home, scariest day of my life.
I slept with my door unlocked when I moved out and was on my own. Yeah. Jim, did you grow up in South Carolina? That's SC, right? South Carolina. I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
When I moved out, I was on my own. Yeah. Gosh dang it! It's still doing it. Live chat overview, maybe.
I don't know.
Classic Todd. Who knows? Anyway, I'll just have to keep checking. Hey guys, let's get to 30 today, can
Let's
we?
get 30 folks on.
I forgot to do this. I'm a terrible person. Oh no, it's in order here. So yeah, you have how much time's left?
You
Production
got
guy?
less than 60 seconds.
You got less than 6 seconds. Get your thing. Get your answer in there.
Get it in there.
Paid off my house. That's awesome. That's a big deal.
Wow.
That leads me to another philosophical. Whenever David's around, I get even more philosophical because I know he thinks that
He's
way.
got a good mind, man.
Yeah.
But you gotta help me get the ball rolling sometimes.
I
Get
was
stuck.
just about to do it about a house and the fact that we don't even own a house until it's paid off.
It's true, man.
It gets
That's
you
true.
down.
It's not really
Think
yours.
about it, man. You don't own it. A bank owns it and they've loaned it to you.
Very much the same
That's
with
almost
cars.
everything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
I don't
weird.
really own anything. Anyway,
Not really.
nerdy 30. Why can't I've got to figure this out? That's really annoying me.
Yeah.
Hey guys, let's get to 30. You know some friends. Let's get them here. In the meantime, we're going to talk about our guests first and catch them in our lives. David, why don't you go ahead? Tell them your name, you know, any relevant info. We're supposed to have questions ready.
Oh, yeah. I do not have those. Yes.
So in the meantime, I will
Okay.
ask you random questions after you fill people in, like your name, any, you know, what you do, how long you've been here, what you serve in at the church that sponsors this place.
Okay.
Probably want to talk about that woman you're married to.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
My name is David Ludy. I've been here, I think, 4.5 years, going on 5 years,
Man, it seems
something
way
like that.
longer than that.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, we've
So
done a lot.
seriously, dude. Yeah,
I do music stuff here. I don't like
you
really
do. Yep. More than that, but yes, he does do music.
the music stuff. Married to Emma. She's got her hands in a lot of stuff. But yeah, I've been here for a while. I didn't think I was gonna make this a home church when I first came here. But yeah.
Yep, I still remember the first time I sat down with this guy. Anyway, yeah, David does a ton of stuff. He's very humble to a fault. So like our worship team, if you like some of our stuff on our worship team, you know, we have a lot of talented people, but if you took David off, it would certainly make it less excellent.
Oh, absolutely,
So
man.
he does a ton of stuff, makes his own music, mixes stuff, gets our sound. Honestly, he's even helping us with, if you've listened to the podcast lately, he helped us on, and he's going to do even more, but he improved
Yes.
it. He came in for like, who knows how long, one day,
30 minutes.
and fixed it tremendously. So he's a super gifted guy. I will tell you from my perspective, brilliant guy, really good heart. He doesn't think this, but one of my real good friends, we just don't get to talk ever. But he's one of those guys that like will message me deep stuff, or I'll message him stuff, and it's like nothing happened. He'll just answer my question and move on, which I really appreciate. So I'm really glad you're on, man. When they told me you're on, that's kind of I'm only back for you, dude. That's the only reason. So
You're a clown, bro.
I'm serious. We also enjoy somewhat similar music at times. So that's someone I can. You and Josh, I feel like I have some people that are connoisseurs of good
you go.
music. One word, David Ludy, Pokemon.
Norman.
How'd you know? He knew immediately. Hey, what's up, Isaac? I'm glad you're on, buddy.
What's up, man?
Hey, guys, 5 more people get to 30. Come on now, let's do this. Hey, Allie, what's up?
Share the stream.
So, here's a couple questions that have been pre-planned, as you
Oh.
can tell.
That's right, man.
The question is,
me?
yep, so
Oh.
people get to know you.
Okay.
What is your favorite movie? You can name 3. Now, people, you know what I've realized? I'm going to buy you time. People, I feel like this is an intimate question. Tell David I said hi. Very hurtful, Allie, but I will tell him.
Oh, that's actually mean. She's mean. She jabbed. That's a jab.
Okay. At you?
Yes,
Okay.
that's a jab. She cheated.
Okay.
That's what that is.
All right, my bad.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
That's personal.
First job after tech. It's Pokemon, Norman. Just ask David. That's hilarious.
All right.
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Norman doesn't even play Pokemon anymore. He's a fake fan. Emma
He is.
dropping bombs.
It's a fact. Super fact.
Anyway, so what's your favorite movie? I feel like that's an intimate question. I think that's why people don't like
a hard
answering it.
question.
Because when you answer it, people naturally are going to go, oh, you're that kind of. You know.
So what,
Josh
you
says
mean,
first wrestling match, Ludi.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Anyways. Yeah,
So,
I forgot
like,
about
First
that.
movie.
I
Our favorite movie. You can name 3 or like,
Oh, 3. I will say, and you're probably going to laugh.
I'm not.
My favorite movie, and Emma will not watch it because she's a bum,
Uh-huh.
but is Ip Man.
Eatmon?
Yeah,
Okay. Is
Ip
that
Man.
anime?
It's IP Man. No, it's
Oh, you pronounce
know.
it right.
Yeah.
I would say Ip Man.
No,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do.
I
I've
love
always
those.
said Ip
Yeah.
Man.
Those are
yeah,
awesome.
It's
I actually love those
It's
movies.
probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that guy,
Yeah.
even though the movie's not, was a real person, right?
Was it based off Bruce Lee's Master?
Yeah. I think, yeah. Okay, cool. I wouldn't make fun of that at all. Those were awesome movies.
I love those.
Yeah.
I love them.
Okay.
They get me hype.
All right, next. This one's harder for you because I know.
Okay.
Name 3, I guess, music artists that you enjoy.
Can you buy me time?
Sure. Music is something that one could say is a symphony of the soul.
We actually talked about music earlier today.
Symphony of the Soul. Stick with me. All right. Oh, we did. You mean on the web series?
Yeah.
Today was a great episode, actually.
It was,
No one will
man.
watch it,
Yeah,
which I'm
man.
going to get to later. But it was a great
It's,
episode.
it's going to be really good. It's
Dude,
not-
that
it's not
actually
out yet,
says
but it will
Symphony
be.
of the Soul. It actually.
Oh, did you
on
see
the
the
subtitles?
Yeah.
I know. That's hilarious.
I don't know. It's kind of weird because it's automatic. I wish she was an option.
Awesome movie. Oh, he likes him too. Tim does. And a great actor. Agreed.
Yes.
I'm going to run this because you can't. Someone
Oh,
is
my
salty because I don't open gifts from them.
gosh.
Boy, they're burning each
my
other.
Gosh,
Oh, yeah,
they're
it's-
talking
it's-
about Pokemon.
Guys, can I? Yeah, okay. Let me
Yeah.
ask you guys a question, everyone out there. And Blake, I'm sure you can speak to this while I'm still buying time. Why do you 24 people hate us?
Yeah.
You cannot tell me. I've always said this. If I was on the show and you, as a friend, or
Yeah.
I enjoyed the show, said, I'd really like to get to 30, I would contact 2 of my friends, i.e., the 2 of you maybe, and go, can you guys hop on here for 5 minutes? Because I'm trying to get this thing. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But you know what people do? They hear me and they go,
nah.
I don't want anyone to know that I like you guys.
That's right.
That's really what it boils down to, right? I'm a secret fan. Thanks, Denise. Just talking to, challenging people. Anyway,
Norman's
bought you some
roasted me.
time. I mean,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
what do you got? What do you think?
I would say I definitely like
Oh, thanks, Denise.
KB.
Me too, man.
I like
That's my guy.
Weather Control, but he's just a straight experimental.
I knew you liked that kind of
EDM
stuff.
trap. Music. It's all instrumentals.
Nice.
And then it's a toss up between a bunch of instrumentalists, but I'm gonna throw them out the window. I'll say Cosmic. It's very basic, but Cosmic is another one.
I would listen to him like, this blows my mind. He goes, this is basic. Anyway, all right. Next. If you could have any superpower, what would you choose?
Oh man. Oh.
Right now, there's a glowing orb. Maybe a
I could
Dragon
choose
Ball.
Any
Anyway.
superpower.
Yeah, but it's limited to superpowers. Good job,
Probably
Denise.
5-second foresight.
Only 5 seconds?
Yeah.
Other too far ahead otherwise?
Too far ahead, I'd overthink, but I think 5-second foresight would definitely give me a fun leg up in life.
If you don't realize that statement tells you everything you need to know about the brain of this guy, nobody in America would have had, using the word foresight, to say 5-second foresight. Nobody would do that. Nobody.
That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. It would be awesome. I just think
yeah.
most people wouldn't think that. Wouldn't think that deeply.
Oh, I know. I wouldn't
Norman
have
says,
thought
Todd, you'll have to have AJ show you the memes I sent him yesterday. I will. He makes some hilarious memes, man.
that. Dude, his real talk.
he
By the
makes
way,
some
Richard, I'm so glad you're on here, brother. I haven't talked to you in a long time. Okay, man, here's another one. You're going to love this. Favorite food?
Ooh.
Favorite food?
Yeah.
I would say definitely any Oriental food. Definitely.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's Oriental food, too. Do you have a
Love it.
favorite place, or it doesn't really matter?
Not entirely. No.
You have places you probably prefer
Yeah.
over others.
Yeah.
Last but not least, and I'm trying to think how to answer this because you have a good mind, so I don't want to just be basic, as it were. Because I could basically ask you what your favorite verse is, right? But I'm going to ask you something different. What is a verse, a story, a realization in Scripture, right? In the past, however many years. Let's say I know your story, so let's say 4 or 5 years. that revolutionized your faith in a good way. You get what I'm saying? That was one of those moments when something clicked in you that said, man, this did something to me. David loves ramen more than anyone. He could eat 12 things ramen and have an 8-pack
I got
too.
ramen socks on right now.
Well, that's another thing I
got
tell about
ramen
David.
socks on right now.
Funny story.
That was hilarious. Good job, man. There's multiple. There's multiple.
Sure.
But the first one that jumped in my head, which wasn't too long ago, it revolutionized it after like I already was like, I don't know, like God uprooted me. He pulled me out of a place, a dark place, and he put me in a really good place. And then I've been growing since. This that I'm about to share was when I was married with Emma, and there was this verse that she had mentioned. She was talking about when Jesus was talking, and I do believe to Peter, and he was saying to him, because he knew, is as if Jesus did know. Jesus knew that he was going to deny him, right? And I forget specifically what verse it was, but he basically said, when you turn back, like, strengthen your brothers, right? Oh. And that to me, like, it hit. I don't think she realizes how deep that hit me, because it made me understand how loving Jesus was, because he knew that he would mess up, and he knew he would turn away and walk away, but he also knew without a doubt that he would still come back, and he was giving him fortifying information. He's like, when you do turn back, like when you do come back, strengthen your brothers. All the other stuff doesn't matter. Like,
Dude, that's so
and that
good.
was really that was really cool to me.
That's really powerful, man. Yeah. Honestly, actually, it's kind of the reason I'm staring off. It sort of punched me right there. It's one of those, that's the cool thing about the Bible, man. If you're in there right now watching, whether you're a believer or not, especially if you're actually either, is that you sort of take the Bible for granted. And, it says that the Bible is living, right? And you're like, what does that mean? And my opinion is that it is living in the sense that you can read a verse 55 times, and it's good, right? You get something out of it. But on the 56th time, it's needed for you and speaks to you in a way it never did before. Yeah. And that's the crazy thing about the Bible, man, is it's always relevant to you, right? It doesn't matter. And I think you get in trouble, we talk about a lot here, is when you get to the point where you think you know everything about the Bible and you've read it all. But that's the point, is that you never do, because it's almost kind of like right out of reach, right? Just enough to teach you something, but not enough for you to grasp it all at once. Right. Anyway. It's good stuff. You reminded me of that. All right, man. I got a comment here. Jane says, I'm so proud of you for wearing your cool socks. Can we see them? What color socks are the rest of you wearing?
It's been a
What have we started?
Yeah, this used to be a question I have all the time. Need 5. You know what? I'm going to share it. Who cares if I'm only on for one? I don't really want people to know I'm back on. But
you're like, you know what? Let's do it. So,
what color socks are you?
Oh, dude, I just got like
she has to see
basic.
yours.
Oh, she has to see mine. Oh.
Dude, those are cool.
Those
black
ones are sick.
It's so weird, man. I almost always wear black. Oh, I am. Did I wear black or white? I think this is very rare for me. I have white and black ones on.
Nice. Okay. I just got your standard black.
That's
it, man. Now, for a minute there, we used to wear fancy socks all the time. I don't know if you remember this, but it's because people were literally sending us socks.
I do remember that. What a weird face.
Oh, yeah, man. People were sending us all these socks and like, oh, where are the socks? So, and then they'd ask us and we'd show them. Just an odd time that was.
Still cool.
You now have another share.
Luke says, love the socks.
That's such a Luke comment. Like, he makes fun of me all the time because I tell him, now, if you read that, because you read love the socks, and you didn't know him, how would you read that? What would you say from his personality based on that?
It felt like dry dad affirmation.
Dude.
He's changed his whole text persona with me, but he kind of makes fun of me when he tells people because he was that guy in every sentence with nothing else.
Awesome.
And now he's taken it too far. So I've heard him tell people, yeah, whenever I text him now, I just have to add an emoji. And I'm like, that's not what I'm saying, man.
Don't use punctuation. Just use emojis.
That's hilarious. Do you need really cool socks in your life? George's trying to buy. It's so relevant to life. That's so true, Greg. It really is. Jane says they are so cool. Willie says they're cool. Everybody loves your socks, man.
Hey, thank
Good deal.
She hooked them up.
There you go.
She knows what I love.
Hey, Lego.
Rama.
Jordan, I'll always take cool socks. I will not deny them.
Anyway, good show. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for answering, man. If you guys have questions for David too, seriously, fun or serious, go ahead and drop those in. We want you guys to get to know him. I really want to move. Look at him. That is great.
That's what I'm talking
Luke's
about.
socks don't even match. That's probably true. He's like, but no one's looking at his socks, Jim. They're just looking at his biceps, so it's a win-win for him. It's not a burn. It's a compliment. Anyway, What was I going to say?
I'm not sure.
There's probably some good.
segue.
Oh, yeah. If you want to ask him questions, go ahead and drop it in there, and
Yes.
we'll answer those as we go along.
Awesome.
Because I do want to do a segment. Yes, you reminded me where we get to, have questions ready to ask guests.
Yes. Got a big,
Production guy,
big box here.
Yes, sir.
we need questions for guests moving forward.
I'll add it to the list.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you, MVP back there. Appreciate you.
All right, we're going to move on. We got some questions. It's question time. So here's the deal, guys. What this is all really about if you're new. It's silly, it's fun today, but we started this show, this series, whatever you want to call it, because two reasons. One, I believe the Christian life is real. And what that means is we don't always have the answers. We have to carry each other's burdens. Life's hard, and so part of it is learning to talk about the hard things in life. We have those kinds of conversations, and we wanted to invite people into those. And I can tell you this too, even though David's a guest today, we've had these kinds of conversations. You need people in your life you can have those with. Secondly, we wanted a platform or a place where, whether you're Christian or non-Christian, that you would have a place to ask questions about life, God, your situation in your life, the Bible, that you would feel uncomfortable or awkward maybe asking a person, your pastor or something, or someone you don't really have anyone to ask that.
That's right, man.
So you'll see a link in the description of this video, www.theremnant.life/real-talk. That's REAL-talk. Click it, go down to the bottom of the page, it says submit a question. Here's the best part. I know you've heard this spiel, you're tired of hearing my voice. At the end, if you click that box and put your question in, it goes into our database instantaneously and anonymously. It means right away, and we don't know who you are. Truthfully, we can't find you, so you're completely safe to ask those questions. We will answer questions here. If you do have some that you just want to ask, and you feel comfortable asking in the thread, the comments of both YouTube or Facebook, we will answer those first, and we'll also we'll be checking this periodically.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? But in the meantime, David, we got a question for you already, my friend. David, what's your testimony? When and how did you first hear the gospel?
Well, no, not really. No. Honestly, and I'm 100% honest. My testimony is something I haven't fully allowed myself to compile. There's some stuff I haven't wanted to process, and I've avoided.
What's up, Ryan?
And so I just I don't know. It's kind of weird to reflect, and that's not a good thing. I have a good quality. I'm very much in the moment person. I'm not a dwell on the past or think too far in the future. I just live in the now very much so. And
Good thing.
so
quality,
the testimony thing, I haven't really processed or put it together. But there's definitely been multiple cascading moments where God has just taken me from place to place to place, keep moving me up to where I am now. So yeah, I could stumble through how God led me to where I'm at now, but it wouldn't be all that coherent, and it would probably take a long time for me to piece it all together.
Yeah.
But as for the first time I heard the gospel, it was probably, I'd say I was younger. It was probably at Lake James, at Lake James Christian Assembly. I used to go there a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that'd probably be it. And that was back in I think I was 14. I think I was 14 when I heard of that. So I didn't.
Where were you at when you heard it?
Lake James.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that
Christian Assembly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like a 7-day youth retreat thing.
Dang.
Yeah,
That's
it
pretty
was
cool,
cool.
man.
I love.
Now, did you
Lake
respond
James.
to that at that time?
Not until I was 17.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And people sometimes they'll count, salvations, right? And it's cool to celebrate those moments when you have them in church. But just because someone doesn't come up now doesn't mean that seed's not planted to be. And Scripture talks about that too, right?
yeah.
Watered later. So that's a cool part of the story. Hey, Kelsey, I just want to say hi to you and your siblings that are on. What's up, Vampar?
Yo.
I think she was on last week, a couple weeks ago. It's good to see you guys. So we do see you. Production guys going to keep on following there.
Oh, yeah.
Good times. What's up, John? I'm glad you're back. So good question, Gene.
What up, John?
Josh says, David, what's the proper way to throw someone in wrestling?
Get him in a bulldog. Take 2 steps back. Take a few steps forward and plant the foot, and then do a counterclock turn.
There you go. Sounds
That was
really
So
painful.
in depth.
Anyway.
That was step by step.
Is
How's
that correct for you, Josh? How do you feel? What's your opinion?
I don't know if you memory recalls, but I'm pretty sure it's close.
All right.
That's amazing.
Let's move on to questions. We'll go ahead and go number 1 on the first page, Blake. That would have been you.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when I was 14, 50 years ago.
No.
Hey, man, you're still the youngest guy I know in spirit.
Ah,
Filled with joy.
Man, that's
And that's a
so true,
compliment.
dude.
Thank you, my beauty. Okay, sorry, I thought she was saying something. We got 8 people, man. Hey, it's cool.
yeah.
I like it. Vampire
YouTube
stuff,
crew
I'm all
will
about
do.
it. For real, I read a ton of stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. I get made fun of for my YouTube name as well often. AJ probably. You don't remember it because you terrible memory, but you've made fun of it every time.
Oh, I remember.
Okay, no need to say it.
I'm curious. I was like, what is it?
Corny stuff. Anyway,
There's two. I'm pretty sure there's two,
yeah,
and I
it
remember
works.
both.
I just did that to Arnold. She said she is Chuck Arnold. I don't think that's possible. That dude is the mountain,
He
the
is
strong bull.
Oh,
Anyway,
absolutely.
go ahead, throw it up there, Blake. Is it the first one, right? The one that says not so much a question? All right, perfect.
Cool.
Oh, we'll come right back to Jane. I see your question. We'll come right back after this. His first match, kid went flying across the mat. But yes, that's correct, brother. That's hilarious. Okay, not so much a question. Just wanted to say that I enjoyed the Real Talk bonus content. Those of you real ones, it's real. Poor AJ Chronicles and the Sunglasses, quote, Highway to Danger, quote, After Hours show. I enjoyed how versatile you guys are. Definitely live up to Life, Bible, and everything in between. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much for taking the time to encourage.
Oh, I'm glad
us
you're here,
in that.
Brandon. Thanks, buddy. Do us a favor, Brandon, share it, would you? Love you, dude.
Should have streamed, buddy. Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
honestly, guys, I'm telling you, I know we joke a lot how we've been building this thing, but the after hours content is legit now, man.
Pretty cool, dude.
So essentially, if you are a subscriber or a ministry partner to the show, $15 a month, it goes directly into the show. It's not a lot, right? You spend that much on Taco Bell usually, one time.
Every time.
Yeah.
1 million.
You will get this bonus content. And if you do 30 or more a month, you get free merch. That's what the person was asking Mandy earlier, is like about a sweatshirt. People actually like those quite a bit. So Kelsey says, what's your Pokemon tag? Oh, she's talking to her sister or you? Do you have one?
I have Kelsey already.
Oh, so she might wonder if she's talking to
DeVito
somebody
and
else.
DeVito son.
Hey, what's up, Jason? How you doing, brother? I know you got friends. Invite
What up,
them, man. Love you, dude. I'm glad you're on.
Good to
Hi,
see you,
Brandon.
Jane.
I love the After Hours Are content. Okay, so Jane asked a question up here, and I don't want to skip that because she dropped it. So this is this segment, guys. We'll still have fun. We're going to answer these. You know, be present. If you're here watching the show, I know some of you are just supporting us. That's awesome. But if you're watching the show, it's one of those things, man. It's like if you watch Netflix, you kind of get drawn in. I know we're ridiculous. We're not talented like actors, but I do think the questions will benefit you if you for yourself. And let's interact with us. You can answer the questions too.
That's right.
Do you guys believe, this is from Jane, that each person has an individual calling? If so, what are yours? Do you think there are ways to find your calling? Man, those are great questions.
So I would say that I do believe God, you have the cliche saying that, God has a plan for you. I believe this kind of plays into that. I think that we all have, as a believer, we all have that foundational calling of, we are called to, the Great Commission, right? Spread the good news of the gospel to all nations. I think, and even you can even go to what Jesus says in the commandments, right? He says, here's the most important commandments. He says, love God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love others as you love yourself. And I think that, at least for me, in my experience, when I first became a believer and I started to do those things, I felt like the more I did them, the more I naturally uncovered what I was gifted in. So it wasn't that I had to necessarily just like search and try to like find what I was good at or like what a calling of mine would be. It's just when I was faithful to what God had told me to do, even on the foundational level, more was revealed to me. So like, I always try to, there's a song that I've quoted a bunch, but they talk about being on the edge of like self-discovery, when you're following Christ. And it's so true, man. Like the more that you take steps towards him and you keep your eyes on him, the more that is revealed about yourself. So for me, Jane, I would say that I hope that answers your question for one, but do I think there's ways to find your calling? I guess that'd be the way for me. The more that you take steps in that foundational, don't overthink it, and you just keep moving, I think that's when more is revealed. So.
What do you think, David? You got anything?
I
Not to throw
feel
you on the spot, but
no, you're good. I do believe each person has their own individual calling. I remember hearing something about it was a while ago about when God has called you to something, He'll never just leave you there. He always follows up. And I found myself whenever I try to take control and just do what I want to do, I always end up in like this weird dead end of like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what's the point of what I'm doing?
Yeah.
And I've noticed that usually when I'm actually, not usually, every time I've actually been obedient to the Spirit and just moving and just listening and being patient, like he's always followed up. Like I've always known like I just know what the next step is. and I don't feel stuck or confused or like, oh, I just got myself in a dumb situation. Even when I do get myself in a dumb situation, he gets me out. So I feel like that's just one of those things. Like that's how I feel like you'll I don't know. It's not like this. Hey, this is what you are. You're going to be this. It's a continual growth. You as you go type of thing.
It's good, man.
In my mind.
That's right. That is part of the sanctification process. I'd say, those steps you take, you start to become more like Christ, and they get more is revealed. So very good, man. I love that.
And ego check for the finding your calling. You got to check your ego because that's what gets in the way of finding your calling.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Yeah. And I do that quite often.
I get it.
So we kind of have another question before I get into that.
Yeah.
Before I answer it, I think kind of goes with this from Wesker on YouTube. Yeah, Blake, and you just go ahead and like interrupt anytime on YouTube, man, so I can be on. But Wesker says, though we have our free will, which I think kind of applies sort of with this whole idea of what is the meaning for, quote, God's plan? And that's the part that I think kind of fits in with what you guys just said on calling. So his question, though we have free will, what is the meaning for, quote, God's plan?
That's a good question. What is the meaning for God's plan?
If you can throw that up as we go ahead, Blake. If not, it's no big deal.
I would say, to me, it's almost like God's, like his love for us in a way. I hope that makes sense. Like he loved us enough to give us the free will, but also like it's kind of hard. We've talked about it before, but like he gives us free will, but he also knows what we're going to do. And so he has provided this path for us, and he's given us the free will to just discover it and be excited about it. And so to me, it's almost like a love letter to us, like walking out life, like
God's plan.
You got any thoughts on that, David?
it's very flowery, but that's the way I can think about it.
And it's
So
okay
can
to
you
disagree,
rephrase
man.
what he said again?
Yeah, he said, though we have free will, what is the meaning of, quote, God's plan? I think the question is, if we have free will, how do we reconcile that with the idea of God's plan?
Okay. I mean, I think it does. Yeah, I can see how it weaves into this other one. So, like, we do have free will, and that is because God is He's loving and willing to give us that power. But I feel as if when it comes to God's plan, it's any plan that isn't like something that you just generate in your mind and choose to do. Like His plan, like what God calls you to do, doesn't typically align with what we have in the like worldly things for the most part. It's a higher thing. Like so, when you have a kingdom mindset, a lot of your flesh has to be killed in that. Like it may go against your entire being of what you've identified yourself as
your desires,
and what you want, everything. Like it can go completely against that. And a lot of times people like to take, say God has called you to do something drastic that goes against the way you want to live your life. Some people try to, instead being that radical, will take that and try to blend it in with the way they want to live their life. And I feel like, when it comes to God's plan, it doesn't always align with what we desire. And it is focused on growing the kingdom, like in general, for people to know Jesus and know Him. But that's
good, man.
I don't know.
I think,
question,
it is a great question. I think overall, and it's a tough question to answer depending on what they ask. What's funny? What you got?
I was just thinking about how I answered that question. I answered it differently than what I was thinking. I thought he meant like, what is the idea of like what God's plan is? And so I was like, yeah, it's just this flowery like love letter thing. I realized that
I think.
Oh man, that's ridiculous.
So going back to the other one you're calling, this is where I've always felt about calling, and this is. I agree with what you guys said. This is just I'm trying to think of it like how I've lived that out growing.
Yeah.
Because it can put pressure on you because you feel like you got to find it. And I think that God is going to make your calling obvious to you. If you're seeking God, right? Seek first the kingdom of God and all these things will be added to you. If you're following God. So this is what I tell people. When people are confused about what to do, focus on what you do know. What do we do know? Okay. Well, I know that, for instance, this is start the simplest. I need to work. That seems simple, right? I need to have a job that's going to help you. So in the meantime, while you're waiting for your calling, stop thinking that the place you're at isn't good enough. Secondly, we know we're supposed to love people. We're supposed love people, our heart, soul, and mind. Love God as ourselves. When we focus on the things we do know, and I know this may not, I'm telling you, if God is real and He interacts with His people, right, and you want to know, He will make that evident to you. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes when people say calling, they have a predetermined thing in their mind. Like, I want a calling in which I am it's not this ridiculous, a multimillionaire. Well, sure, right? God, you already you have a calling in your life now, and your calling is to be the light and to be the salt, and to in whatever capacity that is, right? And I agree. I think clearly God knows everything, so He has a role for everyone. And I think I guess I'm answering sort of the last part of the question of how to find it. I think you just be obedient with each step.
That's good, man.
You know what I mean? So your guys' stuff was good. He said like a road trip with God. He's seen farther ahead than we do. We're His pastors. That's good, John. And you got to be willing to step and take chances.
That's I was gonna say that's hard.
Because here's the thing, man. Like life, we are free. I can't help but think, we've talked about this a lot. I've come to set the captives free, Jesus said. And we live like we're supposed to figure it all out or we're going to miss it. If God has a calling on your life, using whatever you mean by that, you think He's really going to miss it? Like He's going to let you miss it?
Nah.
Your willingness, now He still knows what you're going to do, right? You got to be willing to step.
Yeah.
So, that's cool. She says, to me, when I think about a calling, I think a lot about what your areas God has gifted you. If you're using your gifts to make an impact in the kingdom in a way, you're following your calling. That's good. Yeah, I do not know why mine's doing this, but it's so annoying.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just use this as my guide here. Great question, though. Was there a follow-up on YouTube to that at all? Nope. Okay, good. Just want to make sure. If that isn't answer it, Wesker, let us know, and we'll try to. Sometimes it's hard for us to know exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like when you just step toward God and say yes to the things He's leading you, it's undeniable in those moments. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I understand the stress of it, right? Like you so desperately want to know the next plan. But here's where it gets deep. Why do you want to know? Do you want to know because you think it'll take away anxiety? And if you knew, would it take away your faith?
Oh, that's so good, man. Because
Would you have to have as much faith if you knew every step of the way?
You wouldn't.
Do you know
You
what I mean?
wouldn't have to have faith.
Yeah.
No.
Not much.
And it would just be comfortable then.
It's good.
It would just turn
Thanks,
to comfort.
Jim. Amen. Serve first. About faith. Yeah. Good stuff.
That's awesome, man.
I haven't checked. Are you keeping up on the
Anonymous questions?
what is it called?
Anonymous questions?
Yeah, but I was gonna call it a database. That's it.
Yeah.
Anything there?
We did have a couple slip in.
Do you need time? You want me to answer one of these while you get them ready?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, the next one. So go ahead, AJ. You can tell him which one you're doing.
Okay. We'll just go down the line probably.
No, he planned it for a reason.
Okay. So then.
I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Okay. We'll do number 2. On the average day, we forget that our life truly is vapor. Your thoughts on this comment?
On the average day, we forget that he would put quotes. Truly, our life is a vapor, which Ecclesiastes Scripture talks about.
Right.
What are your thoughts on this comment that we can forget? So someone made the comment: we forget that our life is truly a vapor.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say it's a true statement. I know I tend to not think about the fact that life is just a vapor, like it's gone so fast. Because I think a lot of the time, if I do think about it, it freaks me out a little bit. I know for those listening who've listened for a while, that's one thing I've talked about multiple times is the passing of time for me really messes with me because it just goes so fast. So, if anything, I tend to try to not think about life being a vapor.
Right. I feel like it's kind of funny. I was just talking about this with a guy at work 2 days ago.
Nice.
Or about a day or two ago. His mom just passed away, so
man.
it was a deep conversation. But I feel like on the average day, that we forget our life is truly a vapor. Our life truly is a vapor.
Yeah.
Because we have so many. I feel like we have so many distractions that allow us to forget that life can just go so fast. Like I was telling this guy at work, I remember at Wizards games, which Wizards, I don't even know if they're around anymore.
Like Washington Wizards?
No, the Fort Wayne Wizards.
Oh, yeah.
They used to have like this clock on the back wall, and it would count up like 23 seconds or something like that. And every 23 seconds, a light would flash. And it said that's how many people had died from like alcohol poisoning or whatever.
Holy cow.
And it was the most I don't know, I would just sit there and stare at it. And I was like, man, dude. Like real lives are actually like going on average, like statistically that fast. And so like I reflect on that and I'm like, man, I guess we are, I guess it's so easy to forget and it's so easy to get caught up in our phones and life and our own selves to, forget that life is actually quite fleeting.
I think if we could understand it, and the older we get, the more we realize, Greg on you said life's very short. And John says, it makes me think of life being short and can be gone and looking about. Yep. Denise says she loves Ecclesiastes. That's interesting. It is good, but not when people say that. I think that for me, man, I wish I would have that idea of like taking that seriously when I was younger, you know, because we do waste a lot of time. And I'm not just talking about wasting time in like finding your calling, wasting time spending time with people, loving people, appreciating the moment we're in, because it's really hard, especially when you're young. And that's subjective. I get it. You know, Greg talks to me about that. He calls me young man all the time. It depends on where you're at, but it affects how you live your life, man.
It does,
You know?
dude.
Lost
Absolutely.
people don't like the serious. You want us to put whipped cream on our head?
We'll do it.
No, we won't. With the show spouts.
Snort the peanut butter.
Oh gosh, we'd probably get 50 people.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
promise
it's true
you.
though. People love pain, man.
What'd you say?
People love pain.
People love pain.
It's true.
You know what I should do?
What's that?
An idea.
All right.
All right. Oh, we got one of the live ones.
Oh yeah, there we go. Good call.
Okay, thank you.
We got a live one that came in that says, "Yo, Ludacris, what's your favorite verse?"
What?
Yeah, dude.
Who was this? Dang it.
That's amazing.
Oh, golly, man. Favorite verse. I don't think I have a favorite. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I have an actual solid favorite.
That's all right.
I'm
dude.
not gonna
By the
lie.
way, I'll tell you how ridiculous I am about hip hop and rap. I thought he meant rap first. Because especially when Ludacris was put together, I was like, yeah, man, you're right. He's going to drop a bar on you.
Drop a bar.
No.
Alex says, Willie says, life's short when compared to eternity. That's true, man. I would definitely wish I would have actually taken school and life seriously. It definitely makes me think a little bit, but I don't know I would change anything where I am. I don't know, man. It's one of those things like I would definitely change. If I could have the stuff, that one was definitely Josh, says Trent. Clearly.
Oh my gosh.
All right, what's next?
Couple things on the YouTube. Mandy says, "You didn't lose me. I just moved over to the tube." And then Kelsey says, "And they spelled it like his actual last name."
Oh man.
Oh, well played.
Oh, golly.
Well played.
Moody. Okay. I get it.
She says he loves the
Thank you.
form of
Thank you,
God
John.
section, though.
I do. I do
But-
a lot. It's deeper than a lot of. I've watched a lot of sermons on it, and I don't feel like they get deep enough. It's weird. I feel like there's more to it. I haven't quite figured it
Probably
out.
why you and I get along, because I talk to people and they're always like, "You're too deep, man." I'm like, "I'm just trying." So Jane says, "Wait, did you ask one? Oh, you said YouTube comments. Okay, how many we got on YouTube?
Currently, we have 6 people.
That's all right. So Jane says, so I was praying this week and felt this idea of being a lion for Christ, but then I had this sort of vision of Jesus saying to me, when I came to you, I did it as a lamb. Would you be willing to follow me? Follow me. Would you be willing to follow me if you had to look weak? Would you follow me all the way to the cross if it had to be done with the world putting you to shame?" Gosh, man, you just preached. You just preached. Ephesians 4 is my all-time favorite since last Sunday. That's awesome, John. But Jane, that is, oof.
Man.
Weird timing of this, Jane. I was just asked this sometime this week because kind of like what I shared last week in message, but also privately of like trying to step forward and, you know, do which I don't want to do. Like people think I like conflict or rattling cages, like Luke said, but I don't really. And it's that idea of like, might have been Mandy, someone said, I don't know who it was, but it was a good question of like, what if that's, will you do it even if they, you know, they hated Jesus, that whole idea. And it's the same thing, man. Because it's hard for a man, sometimes I think even with women, to like the idea of like, what's success mean versus what success looks like in the kingdom.
Yeah.
Like it isn't a big deal to me, money and stuff, but when the idea of being attacked for truth, especially from what's considered other believers, that can really get to you, or to me anyway. So I think that's a powerful thing.
Man, dude.
And I think that's it. I mean, we're going to be, to the world, right? World's wisdom. I mean, God's wisdom looks like foolishness to the world, right? And it's kind of the same thing. It's great, Jane. That's powerful. Drop it.
Yeah, that was
The
good stuff.
mic.
That's right. Mic drop.
Any production guys? Sorry, we're putting a lot on you today, buddy.
Oh, hey, you're good. We actually got a couple anonymous. I'll throw them up for you guys.
Yeah, I think there's quite a bit. Even if they're comments, we can throw those up.
This one says, "Last week I asked how I could love my husband better, and through us not liking each other anymore. Your advice has helped me to continue doing my part, even if he doesn't respond how I want him to. I learned that I cannot control how he reacts, but I can control how I act and love him how God calls me to. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, great job of you putting that into practice and then, trusting God's way.
Absolutely.
That's really cool.
Yes. That's
And what
great.
a cool testimony.
Appreciate you coming in and doing a follow up with that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have to do that.
Nope. That's what I make a weird voice.
And then we also have an anonymous question.
Okay.
They ask, is forgiveness a one-time transaction? Because I feel like I have to work on forgiving a certain person every so often. It's hard because they're passed on already and I can't ask them questions.
That's a
I always end up loving them anyway, but I very much dislike that I have random thoughts of unforgiveness for them, if that makes sense.
That's really honest and raw, and I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah. This is, yes, a good one. Forgiveness in general, I don't think it's a one-time transaction. No, I think it's a choice that you have to make every day towards somebody, if you had those feelings. Add on to the fact that they've already passed on, that's tough. One thing that I try to remember, and I'm not saying I'm good at this, so, but I try to think about what is what if it was the tables were flipped, and someone felt that way about me? How much would I want them to forgive me? So and that tends to try to help. That tends to help me when I think about sympathy or empathy, and that road of forgiveness. So yeah, man, I try to put myself in their shoes when I'm upset with somebody, going, okay, what if this was flipped around? And yeah, that's kind of that's what I try to do. And again, I'm not very good at it because I have moments where I don't forgive people. But I'm sorry about whoever this is passing on. That's hard. So it is hard.
John says, when it comes to forgiveness, would you do it for yourself or Jesus? Jesus said to forgive 77 times. And even that was, an analogy for him. Forgiveness is one of those things, man, and I think your answer is right. So I feel like sometimes when I say things like this, either I don't think you as much as you, but the people think I'm saying you're wrong, and I'm not. I'm adding to it. I think that forgiveness, when there's a Christian answer to forgiveness, and it's right. It's a right answer. But when you put yourself in the shoes of what does that look like? If it's not a one-time, what is forgiveness? You got to define that, because if you tell yourself it's pretending they didn't hurt you, that's when you set yourself up for disaster. Because every time you hurt and you get mad, you think you're not forgiving again. And what I've come to in my own life, and anyone else's sound keep cutting out. Might be just her. We'll find out. If your sound's cutting out, let us know. On my phone, yes, but not on my TV. So that's probably an internet thing.
Interesting.
But for me, I had to define that, and I'm still defining it all the time. It's definitely not a one-time thing. The best that I can come up with when I think of how God forgives us, right? It's not holding. His forgiveness is even better. It's not holding against us good, wanting good for us in a way, right? So when I think about forgiveness, for me means, am I willing to admit that person deserves love, grace, mercy? Do I want good for them? Can I put myself in a position that if Jesus came down and said, hey, I'll save them if you want me to? It sounds crazy, right? I'm just putting it in real terms. Right. Could I say yes to that? Or would I be like, no? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. And so for me, I think it's, everybody's saying it's cutting out except on their phones, though, but not on their TVs. It's got to be. I wonder if you all have the same. What service do you all have? That'd be interesting. Willie, James, Denise. Oh, not Denise. She said it's good. Yeah. What service do you have, Alex? I'd be curious. Does that make sense what I'm saying, though, about forgiveness?
Oh, definitely.
And I just put that in my own human terms.
That's really good.
Because it's hard, man. It's just happened a couple weeks ago. Somebody gets a hold of me, makes this another comment who's hurt me my whole life. And in that instance, I have one of two things. I want to pretend you don't exist, or I want to destroy you, right?
I like what you said about using the
I think Cricket even uses AT&T.
I think they do.
So it looks like it's an AT&T thing.
I really like what you said about if Jesus came down, right, and asked would you want me to save them? That, dude, that is so good, because what is forgiveness? Like you said, it is wanting good for that person despite And so like what that's the ultimate thing, right? So like that's really good.
And I
man.
think what James says here is she's putting it into practice of how do I get there? She says, sometimes for me, forgiveness means taking this to God. Sometimes it means praying for good things in their lives. I think that's so good because you pray for your enemies. And I found when I do that, it's really hard to hate them, right? Like,
that's really good.
so that I can learn to let go of the idea of revenge. That's really good. And I think revenge is part of that. Forgiveness
Yeah.
means letting go of that. You have any thoughts to add?
No, I was gonna say letting go. That's a really good way of putting it, because like a lot of times when it comes to forgiveness, I don't feel it, but I choose to,
have to,
because then I'll just sit there and let it like, get tossed around in my own mind,
simmer.
and then I mistreat others around me because I didn't let go, because I just want to hold on to it. So like I feel like just actively, continually letting go,
Oh yeah.
like and giving it to God. Especially if that person's not around, that would make it extra. This specific thing, like extra difficult, but it is letting it go.
yeah.
That's good, man. And you know what? It's interesting when you think of someone passing away, because in a way it's like a worst case, but it feels like this when someone won't even seek forgiveness. Because in a way it's almost like it's kind of the same feeling, right? This person is never, you've gone to them and they don't care. Or maybe someone's abused you as a child. You know, those kinds of things. And it's like, and they're not in your life anymore. It could be someone else even.
Yeah.
Or if they are. And it's like, they're not ever going to come to you. And they can't, and the crazy part is they cannot, even if they are sorry, take that pain away. And that's the part that's like hard to grasp.
So then what? Yeah, then what do you do?
Exactly.
That's the hard part.
That's where Jesus comes in, I think, right? And it's where like I think that's his whole point of forgiveness too. When I think about it, it's a great question. When I'm processing out loud right now is that forgiveness, that person can't make you feel better anyway. I'm the only one that can.
That's true.
So like,
And-
that's really good. So like their standing doesn't even matter. It shouldn't matter, which is like,
Yeah, because they can't cure that inside anyway. They can't heal that wound.
that's so good.
It can help, right?
Yeah.
But they can't heal it.
So you're relying on man to make you feel better
Yeah.
by getting their apology or whatever, right? Or them to make up for the damage that they've done.
Because isn't that what we do a lot? We want them to either make up or pay penance.
Or yeah, exactly.
Man, dude, that's really good.
Yeah.
So
that's
then
good.
That's weird.
Good thoughts, man. I definitely think forgiveness is everyday choice for me. It's really hard to forgive my mom because sometimes those feelings come up. I get it, and just have to continue to let go and pray about and forgive her. Yeah, and it gets even harder when they are in your life. And then here's one for you guys: forgiving them every day and choosing to love them every day. So say it is a parent, grandparents in your life. You know, what does that look like? Can you forgive without forgetting, Luke? I think I have to, for me, because it's every day. But in the and that's what's crazy about God, because that's why I almost said it earlier, Luke. It's interesting you said that, where I was like, because God says, "I will remember your sins no more," and of course that's symbolism for a way,
Right.
but He does that. I mean, He doesn't hold that against us at all. It's just surreal.
Do you think strength comes with forgiving without forgetting, or do you?
If you could forget, it'd be easy.
It'd be easier, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So then, don't you think that'd fortify your mind as you go? And I don't know.
And it's a
Definitely
picture of
place
Him,
of
man,
strength, I'd
towards
say so.
us. Because imagine if he forgave us, but in the way we forgive, which is what He says. What if God's forgiveness for you was directly tied to how you forgive other people? That'd be terrifying.
Oh,
Sometimes.
I'd be in
Isn't that a
trouble.
verse that's coming out?
Yeah, I said that. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's okay. And he's saying, I think in that case, it's talking about the willingness to forgive it all, right? Or the willingness to set yourself above someone, or say they can't be forgiven. Because like, who do you think you are?
Right.
What did I forgive you for? What do you think, Luke? We got more, I think, right? Good sir?
Yes, we do.
Hey, we're going to keep the party going, whether it's 19 or 30, so stick around, folks.
That's right.
Also, if there's something you'd rather see, be polite about it. But you can use the link to do that too. So if you're like, Todd, I want you to not speak as much. One, I can help it a little bit, but I can't help it some ways. So just say that.
Great
Or
speaker, man.
I'm just being serious. I was just giving an example of like the thing people would be really scared of. Or if you're like, hey, it'd be cool if we had people to interview, let us know.
There was
you
an
liking?
anonymous comment that says, Todd, your haircut looks very nice.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
Appreciate that. I had a
yeah.
funny story you'll see on the web series if you listen to the podcast where I talk about that, because last week I talked about how hard of a job it is to cut hair.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I actually this week, I'll give you a little foreshadowing, experienced every end of the spectrum of a hairstylist in one haircut.
It's
Willie,
that's
that's
today.
yesterday. That's pretty good, Willie. Actually, that's kind of deep. He says, I think if you forgive 100% with your heart, God tends to help you forget those bad memories. Wow.
That's
good,
true. Yeah, that's true.
Pretty good.
Willie's dropping some.
It
bombs.
definitely feels like the weight of it isn't as heavy. Like you said, letting go, right? It doesn't burden you as much.
Yeah, I know I've learned to accept like the hard stuff when I've been able to forgive. Like I don't like forget it, but I don't actively remember it. It's a thing in the past per se.
Like it's there, but not something that.
Messes with me emotionally or.
Yeah,
It's good,
I definitely
man.
think forgiveness is also tied into humility a lot too, like being willing to like humble yourself to remember where you're at and what your situation is without God.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I tell this story a lot. So 10 years ago, everybody knows my testimony. You know, I thought I understood grace. And I did, I did. That's always stuck to me. And I always knew that like we as a church sometimes struggle to accurately depict God's grace towards the world. They don't, but typically in the way we treat each other, we'll forgive them, not each other. But I thought I knew what grace was, man. And this goes with humility, is why I'm bringing this up.
Yeah.
And then you mess up and you recognize, man, like it's easy to be humble when you realize who you are. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can look at something someone does, and you can be the worst thing for you, okay? And I'm telling you, given situations, we're all one step away from doing something that someone else finds so vile you deserve. You know what I mean? That's the trap of not forgiving. Is someone is better at you in that area than thinks you deserve to die for this. Well, you think someone deserves to die for that, and it just goes on.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then humility is recognizing, man, none of us are the standard. It's God, and that's the beauty of the gospel.
Man, dude.
Anyway, made me think of that with humility because that's something I thought I was humble, but
That's a choice too, man. Humility, like, is you gotta constantly recognize and remember where you've come from, because
who
if
you are,
if you
who God
don't-
is. Yeah.
If you don't, man, it's so easy to become arrogant in areas. It is like it's weird.
Sorry, everyone.
I've done that a few times too.
Because if I'm going to forgive and not forget, I'm still in the hard feelings. I see what you're saying. So you're saying like sort of forget the bitterness. It was a trick question, Luke. Yeah, I definitely agree. You got to let go of that bitterness for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I should be loving your guys' comments, and I'm not today because they are awesome. All right, we got more, my good man.
We sure do.
All right,
Nice.
and then I think we'll announce
just,
the winners.
Just an update. It sounds like the audio issue might have been a Facebook thing
Oh,
because our tube crew says there's no issues over there.
Nice.
I'm telling you, the Zuck just wants us down, man. He does.
No, man.
He
just
does what he
doesn't-
can to take us out.
It's true, man. He's not a fan of us. We're a fan of you, Zuck. We love you, buddy.
That's
Just give us our audio back.
Yeah, I know.
But we do have an
If you look
anonymous
at my
question.
face, you said that you would see it. Yeah, what is it?
It says, do big events in your life make you sad? Anniversaries, birthdays, holidays, etc. And if so, how do you combat those feelings? It's hard for me to find joy when it feels like life isn't in the place that I want it to be.
Boy, that's true. She says it's not Facebook because she's watching on TV. I think it was AT&T.
That's
Anyway,
possible, man.
go
It
on.
could be AT&T. Actually, never mind. I was gonna say I have AT&T. I could check mine, but that would just be a waste of time. Do big events in my life make me sad? I wouldn't say.
You are literally lying if you say no.
I was gonna say like,
Okay.
like
I know you well enough. This ties
birthdays
right into your...
especially. Like it's just a reminder of time passing. So for me, it's like
So like when you remember something reminds you of a concert you went to,
oh yeah, that's
an
true, too.
anniversary of sorts. I'm only calling him out on this because he's acting like only this one area. I'm like, this is you to a T. You could have written this.
When it feels like especially you're right.
So do big events in your life make you sad? Anniversaries, birthdays, holidays, etc. If so, how do you combat those feelings? It's hard for me to find joy when it feels like life isn't in the place that I want to be. That's a key, I think, too. Do we use those as markers for our life? Like a check-in spot? Okay, last birthday I was here. I should be farther along. This birthday, you get what I mean? Anyway.
That's
what
really
about you?
bad.
We'll start with you. Do they make you sad? Birthdays, anniversaries, holidays?
I wouldn't say always sad, more disappoint. For the fact that, like, as a kid, I used to truly believe in the Easter Bunny. I used to
Dude,
believe
so
in the
did I.
Tooth Fairy, Santa.
What
And
do you
as
mean?
I grew
no one
up,
tests it, bro. We don't know.
I
Go
hope
on.
no kids are watching. I'm sorry. But as I grew up and I discovered that this magical world I had in my head wasn't real, I became very much jaded towards things. So like I always had everything that I had an expectation that was super high for everything. So like whenever someone says like, a birthday, I had an expectation of like, oh, it's going to be something amazing, like what I see in movies.
Yeah.
And then I don't experience that at all. It's just disappointing. So like any holiday I've experienced for the most part doesn't live up to the hype that I think I would enjoy. So it automatically just becomes like, I don't really know why I'm celebrating this because this doesn't seem like exciting. It's a weird thing.
So yes, I get it, man. I get it.
It's
It's like
whatever.
the reality doesn't match the expectation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, man, you say things sometimes like this is why we get along. Because when I tell you that I believed, I literally, some part of me wonders if I still do. Like I believed so hard, bro. And I get mad when people, I ain't even gonna bring it up because people argue with me about Santa and like if it's wrong, and I'm like, dude, it was so magical for me that I would never rob that from someone, in my opinion. I get people that do. Okay, I understand, but anyway, big events in your life, Mickey said.
Yes, I'd say they make me. It's like a combination. It's a combination of sad and also. I was trying to think of the word before it got to me. I still couldn't think of it because my brain doesn't work anymore. What is that word, man? Where like you don't feel anything.
Jaded.
No.
David hates his birthday mostly. So Alex said, go ahead.
No. What's the word when like you just
Don't
don't
know?
No, you just don't feel
It's usually a
anything.
word.
towards it.
Apathetic?
Yes.
Apathetic, you mean?
There it is. Yeah, I would say I'm probably more sad and or apathetic towards them, especially birthdays, anniversaries, holidays. Yeah, because for me, like they just become another day now. Like I think there was, I agree with you guys that there was like a sense of like magic to them when I was younger, but that faded away fairly quickly for me. So to me, it's another day. It's just another reminder of, that's another year from when that day was. And I'm like, great.
I definitely get sad, 100%. And anything. Like I'm the guy who I do not want to celebrate New Year's. I do not like it. I don't want to celebrate
I
it.
get it, man.
I don't know why. I'm very sentimental. It'll make me think. I don't even want to tell you guys. I'm the guy that's like, why are we celebrating? We're one step closer to the grave. That kind of
Oh, yeah,
just
dude.
weird stuff like that. So, and I think some of it's what you said sometimes, and I think I use it as a marker sometimes too of like, gosh, man. Not like necessarily like a house or anything, but just like, man, why am I still struggling with the same thing,
Yeah, dude.
And birthdays, I think, I don't know if I would have admitted this if you hadn't said what you said, but I think the real reason because I don't want to be let down. Like I don't want to be hurt if I think my birthday's important to someone and it ends up not being.
I get that.
Holidays are more fun married though, said Emma.
Yeah, I would
Especially
say,
Christmas. Christmas is fun but sad.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
Yeah.
super fun but sad.
Kelsey says over on the tube, I'm sad for things like that happen back home. It's just us here, and it's hard when birthdays and stuff happen back home because everyone gets together and I miss them. But I love living here.
Kelsey, we'll celebrate with you. Just let us know.
oh yeah.
But I get it. It's not the same.
And Mandy says, oh my goodness, I love holidays, birthdays, anniversaries. I love to celebrate what I've been given in the hope of what's ahead.
She is literally a joyful human, and I'm like, you got to face reality.
Also, the past like 3 or 4 years, like I feel like whenever a holiday and or my birthday comes up, I'm sick.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is
that's
true.
kind of
man.
been.
Like I just
It's
get
like
sick.
you set it up, and you make sure no one else has fun either.
It's true, man. It's a depressing day when I'm around on a holiday.
No, I mean last Christmas was, and when I became, or was that Thanksgiving when you came back from your parents?
That was
Austin, you were here for that one.
that Christmas?
Was that Christmas or Thanksgiving? When
It was Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kelsey says, when I became a believer, I lost my family for a while. So now that we're mostly talking again, it's especially hard. That makes sense because now you realize what you miss. Yeah. Good question. What do we got next, my friend? Hey, Sydney, I'm glad you're back.
Up
Unless you left again.
next, we have a question. This
I
is
think
a
these
question
guys
for the
aren't
bringer
still
of the
here.
Yule log. How goes the listening to Christian music versus listening to modern music? Has it changed your spiritual walk?
It's a question
Oh,
for you.
wow.
I was listening to Christian music.
The
versus listening to
timing.
modern music. Has it changed your spiritual walk?
I feel like it was a setup.
I didn't do it. No.
No, man. Honestly, this has been, you'll see, because the web series episode where we're going to come out, we also discussed, like, someone sent in a video about
More?
about secular music.
Wait,
So I'm just getting it.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Last week or this?
This week.
Just-
This, the
this
one that's about
week's.
to come out.
Yeah,
That's what he's talking
yeah,
about.
Yep.
First of all, the whole setup of the question is assuming something. But yeah, man, how does it go listening to that?
I'm going to be honest, man. I haven't really listened to music at all.
Don't try to freaking weasel out of this.
No, I really haven't.
Blake, you want to say something? Anything? Clearly, this is why you're so lovable. People love you that you get away with this stuff. But you are like me in the sense of like you see through this. What did he just do?
you dodged.
You
so
dodged
hard.
the whole thing, bro. Because clearly it doesn't say, "Hey AJ, if you listen to music lately." The assumption is that you stopped listening to your secular music in favor of Christian music when you do listen to music. And the answer is
okay, wait. So
Pie chart it. 2 months. Past 2 months, make a pie chart. Christian
Okay.
music versus secular music.
okay, that makes a little more sense to me. So like I would say definitely not good still then because because I've definitely listened to more secular versus Christian. But I will say like
Butt it, bro. You need to face what you are because I'm going to call you out every time. I'm not letting you weasel around this one. Because if this is real talk, it's real talk. I'm going to point it out. I'm going to show you why this thing, and it comes in the web series, and you're trying to do it again. Instead of being willing to listen to Christian music, he would rather not listen to any music. You get that?
You
that's
love
what you
music,
said,
bro. What?
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Yes, you do. You need to talk about it. People notice.
Do you know that when it comes to metal, I don't know if you listen to the Queen of. She's the one who does vocal lessons for like a lot of scream
I've heard of
artists.
her.
Well, she was talking about how like that type of music are for the individuals who don't know how to let out their aggression, and usually they come across as peaceful people. And she said that music allows them to express rage through listening, and like it gives them the internal release of just like that emotional release of rage or whatever drastic emotions that you want to stuff down.
Makes sense
So
actually.
I wondered if you just what are you if you're holding stuff back? I don't
Oh my
know.
gosh, that is you. You just solved this. That is you to a T, dude.
Yeah, it makes sense why I've been into like metal music since I was a kid because like I never really like knew how to get that stuff out.
Here's Willie. He says, I switched from classic rock to WBCL and I love it. Keeps my mind and heart concentrated on God. Let me tell you guys why everybody thinks, once again, if you're new, that Todd's just mean to AJ. Okay? If you will go back 3 years ago, and Fun Turn can attest to this, all the guys can attest to this. This guy,
getting fist
because there was
bumps.
an episode where he yelled at me. Okay, so this guy tells us pretty powerfully. He says, "Hey man, I feel like God's telling me I need to turn away from my music for like, and it's going to be hard." Okay, you remember this?
No, you do.
And then he starts yelling at me almost for AJ yelling, arguing, and I eventually had to say, "I didn't tell you to stop listening to music." And so let's be serious for a minute because this is real talk. Okay, I'm not trying to call you out, but I
Yeah.
kind of am because
No, that's
we've already
okay.
put ourselves out here,
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
and
what
it's
the
not
show's all
super
about.
serious. You did say that you felt convicted to do it.
It's
and,
true.
and I'm okay with you being honest.
Yeah.
But she says, Jane says, that was really mind blowing, David. Okay. AJ says, I don't think you, or he said, Doran says, AJ, sorry guys, I got lost in my passion. Again, it's AJ here. I have moments listening to metal music. Listen, guys, there's nothing wrong with listening. Like everything's permissible and everything's beneficial. The
Yes.
reason it is for AJ is he specifically said he felt God was telling him to do something. So it's not like we're shaming.
And then I've
this
refused to
music.
do it since then.
Thank you. So you admit that,
Yes.
and you also admit that it is fully rebellious.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now
So what do you do with that? Like
Well, you know, we kind of talked about
we did.
on the web series that will be coming out this week. Hopefully late night, maybe tonight or tomorrow. But so I would say, you know, for me, I guess
Right,
I have to look into why.
Jane says, I do recall you saying this, AJ. Finally.
Yes.
Because I don't know if you know about this. You probably know this. In this show, it doesn't matter what AJ does. AJ could take a knife right now, cut me in the face. And if I got blood on him, people are like, Todd, why did you put blood on AJ? He has a personality that it doesn't matter what he does. Okay? And I used to be that guy. Okay? I used to be a likable person. And what ends up happening is somehow I am the evil monster man. And this guy can do anything, get away with it.
This is laugh. It's his laugh.
It is, dude. And it's
It's-
looking, he
it's-
can punch you in the face, and I'm over here going, I love you. And they're like, look at you freaking caveman.
Because he'd laugh afterwards and they would love it.
Anyway, get him, Todd. I'm trying.
That's good.
So what do you have to say about that?
Um,
While you're pondering, let's pause real quick.
Okay.
Let's do the announce the winners,
Oh, good
because
call.
we did say that.
good call.
Go ahead, production guy. You have 'em?
Today's Remnant Roulette winner, remember you have 2 minutes to respond, is Mandy. Mandy, if
Wow.
you're on, you have 2 minutes to respond.
You are the winner.
That's cool. Mandy, you heard him. Did you say 2 minutes? Okay. If not, we move to the second person. All righty. I don't think Lindsay was on today. She's almost on every time.
Kelsey did kind of have a follow-up question for you as well, AJ.
Yes.
She says over on the tube, it used to be a conviction for you in the beginning of this being brought up. Is it still a conviction?
Emma.
Is it still a conviction? No judgment at all, brother. Just asking and wondering.
No, that's a good question. I think that
And Mandy is here.
All right.
Congratulations, Mandy.
Congratulations. Had nothing to do with it.
I would. I would.
Just saying, people know how it is.
That's great.
I would say to answer your question, Kelsey, that I have moments of conviction. I wouldn't say I always do, but yes, I still have moments of it. As far as it overall, I would say that what do I do with that? I guess, and we kind of, I think we kind of discussed this in the web series, but I guess I have to come to terms with why. Oh, she said she prefers you over me.
Her comments are so dry.
I know.
That's why I laugh. at
Every
them.
single-
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Luke's.
that's true. Actually. Yeah, until you get to know him, especially.
Yeah.
You're like, what? Go ahead, man.
I would say I have to come to terms with why that is, like why I'm having a hard time letting it go. Which I think I have answers, some answers. I wouldn't say I have it fully. Which those reasons are, a lot of the music that I listen to, it's tied deep to like good moments in my life, or it's also tied to bad moments in my life. And like for me, growing up.
Luke just put an emoji.
I love it.
Anyway,
I love it again.
I would say that, yeah, man, those are just, I'm sentimental. That's one thing. I would say that I can be just rebellious in general. I just have a rebellious personality. It's hidden a lot of the time. Let's see.
you understand you're not rebelling against me or him as you laugh about this. You are rebelling against the creator of the universe.
Yes.
And the only reason I'm giving you a hard time about this, because like, listen, we all have our stuff we struggle with.
Yeah.
Right. But in the big scheme of life are the things we have to battle. But I guess that's true, man. It could be anything. I think it's kind of symbolic. But my first thing is like, dude, of all the things we have to battle, this is just literally stop listening to it. You know what I mean? But I guess
Just a question.
Yeah.
Do you think it does at all have anything to do with like a level of spiritual maturity? Because if you have all these good times and memories with those people, then
good.
like that means there's a lot of good and a lot of good times I've had with Christians, even listening to Christian music, just on the worship team even. And I was like, you can recreate better memories, right? What is preventing you from recreating better memories without that type of music?
Ooh, that's a good question, man.
Unless you're saying that life is better
back then.
back then, yeah. Which I know that's not the
I wouldn't
case.
say
exactly.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say life was
It's a
better
trick
then.
question.
For sure, yeah, for sure, not better. Life was not better then. I would say that it's interesting. I guess I don't know. That maybe that's something I have to keep like figuring out. I think it's the spiritual maturity thing you said. I think is really good. I think that this is definitely. First off, I think that if I'm being honest, like I am not a very spiritually mature guy a lot of the time. Like I think that I love Jesus and I love like going to church and I love all this stuff. But when it comes to the hard truths of what I have to face sometimes, I don't like to face them.
Dude, I'm with you. 100%.
Yeah. So it's
I'm
like,
bad.
so for me, I would say this is just one of those areas that I just haven't really wanted to face me. I just didn't want to do it.
But when it comes to you being convicted, that the only reason I'm
Exactly,
like,
same here.
only reason I'm even mentioning what I mentioned. That's why I even brought up whole maturity, not just you as a whole, but like I'm
this
talking
area.
about this specific area, yeah, because you said you felt convicted,
Yeah.
and you said it multiple times.
Yeah.
So like,
Nobody even told you to say
yeah,
that. None
that
of us
was
said anything.
your choice. Yeah, that was on you.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? So that's the only reason why I'm kind of wondering about that, really.
Emma kind of it's so funny you guys are married because she kind of it sort of ties with yours that you just said too. She said, AJ, do you think that deep down you think life was better then, and you just don't want to admit that to yourself? Is that possible? By the way, I appreciate you, dude, being able to talk about this
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
because it is hard.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's great though, man, that you're willing to do this, and it shows your courage because you're not a spiritually mature person. I like what he said. You can have areas in your life that you're more mature than other areas, right?
That's
Me
fair.
too.
I've got my areas,
That's
man,
fair.
for real.
I would say, I would say that I miss moments of my old life, but I wouldn't say I miss it overall. So like,
It'd be okay if you did.
Yeah.
You just have to figure out what it was.
I would say that especially,
Freer. In quotation marks. Like,
Yeah. I see
yeah,
it,
yeah. I
It
would
wasn't
say-
better, though,
No,
you
it
know?
definitely wasn't better. But
'cause
like,
you weren't really free. Anyway, that's a deep thing too.
now here's the thing, and this is what?
Sorry. I just love Greg. He said, David turned me on to Spotify.
I love it.
I have a list of 120 songs, my favorites list, all Christian. It helps you keep focusing on Jesus. I love
I
it.
love it. It's so good.
Dude, you're always running around. You're like a church Batman. You're
No
rolling
way.
around church Batman.
No way.
I will. He's not even that loud, or he's not louder. But all of a sudden, you go around and he's like, someone's like, "Yeah, David did this for me," and I'm like, "Wait, when did he do this?" Like he's like, "Yeah, David saved 5 orphans." I'm like, "When?" Like, you're like that guy. Anyway, it's awesome quality, man. Because you don't do it. You definitely don't do it for fame. But
Oh, that's funny.
I would say that overall. Oh man, what was I saying? Dang it.
yeah, my bad.
Oh no, it's
Greg
okay.
got me. He said an area of we're talking about you can be immature in areas versus your
Yeah.
overall.
So I would say that one thing that, especially for this area, that kind of reflects on like who I am as a person, especially my flesh, is I'm definitely like a rebellious person just in general. It's just like, and I think this is one of those areas where before I was a believer,
Sydney just drops him off.
there was no quote rules, you know.
Sure.
So like for me, that's how I lived most of my life. You know, like I was just like, hey, there's no rules. I can kind of do whatever I want. And so like if you're talking about quote freedom, there was more freedom in that sense. And so I think sometimes I can miss that feeling. But and so I guess maybe music is one of those last things I can hold. I can almost rebel and hold on to.
You know what stinks, man? And it's just hit me. Why I'm as I'm sitting here thinking about it. Because at the end, we're not saying you own Jesus. Nobody's picking on you. But I think for me, and it goes with what you said, when I think of, okay, it is a conviction. Dude, at the end of the day, it reminds me, and I'm not trying to hammer you. It's just I'm thinking about myself too. You are literally saying, in a way, that, I mean, isn't that idolatry in a sense? Because you won't let it go. In this case, it's very symbolic because it's not like we could say that about all sin.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, what drives me mad is I feel like yours right now, it is in this area, it is immature in a sense because it's like, okay, God says you're here. I'm not even saying forever you can't do this.
Right.
But I want you to drink out of this cup right now. And you are literally going, I want you to think about it. No, you're not. It's not even, I mean, you do, but it's even worse. You go, I won't drink out of anything then.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And that's where it's like, what does that really, like, there's something in there with it. That's why it's so fascinating to me. And it's cool because it's symbolic. We all have stuff, dude.
Yeah.
But, and I want to make that point. I'm not picking on them because we do all have sin issues. It's not about the sin of it. It's a cool moment because it's so symbolic of like, it's a minor thing right on the surface. None of us care. I know your heart.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it even worse. Like weirder to me because I know your heart. And you have such a, like you do love God.
like you know my heart, and despite that, I still have this weird part
This
of me.
thing that you want,
Yeah. I
Which,
get what
because
you're
in
saying.
I've seen you give up things, dude, that are way harder. Like from a human perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
While you're doing that and thinking, it says it would be okay and not shameful if you did miss it, AJ. You did just do that. This was, you said it'd be face it, admit it. Sydney says something pretty deep here, and I know you guys like similar music. I miss listening to my other music because I was able to feed into my negative feelings. Woof. Well, she's grown, huh?
Oh yeah.
I was content living in it, and I definitely miss it sometimes, most of the time. Sydney, what made you want to feed it? What does that mean? I'm curious. About getting people's bedtime. We're losing people, but Anyway, we won't keep you on the spot, dude. Just something to think about.
I don't mind at all.
Luke did say something too. He said in the past. Well, first off, I don't want to miss this. Luke asked a question up here. Where does it become sinful to listen to secular music versus Christian music? I put that in the 1 Corinthians category for me a little bit when it comes to like. I got to be careful.
Meat.
Meat. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. You mentioned it in a Real Talk podcast recently.
Did we talk about music recently too, other than today?
No, in the Real Talk.
Web series. Yeah, like when we talked about the music video and all that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Speaking of that video, like I'm so glad I listened to the song before I watched that video.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because anyway. Luke said that, but we'll come back to that. Gosh, I'm all over the place. We'll come back to that question because he then said something that fits this. He said in the past the choices were easier, but the consequences were greater. And that's true, man.
That's very true.
Yeah.
John says there's music I consciously avoid because I know where it will lead me to emotionally. Oof. If I want to be positive mindset, I listen to Christian music or Real Talk on Spotify. Well, thanks.
Thanks, John.
And over on the tube,
I'm heading there myself.
Vamper 1466 asks, so being a Christian, we can't listen to metal music?
No,
if
you
so,
can.
why?
You certainly can. I mean, there is Christian metal music out there that's sick.
Well, let's pause. Let's not even talk about your listening to metal music has nothing to do with your standing with God.
Right.
But if God were to tell you, all right, imagine God came down here and said, you following me, I want you to give this up. Like if he said that, right? Or if for some reason you knew that listening to this certain kind of music, okay, I like hip hop, right?
Yep.
I like growing up, I was just saying this today. You notice what I do. Christian rap's catching up, but for a while, the beats and the flow, you couldn't compare it. What I noticed when I listened to that stuff, especially sexually as a young man, I would all of a sudden be listening and not realizing the images that's put in my head, which in itself, you're like, okay, whatever, Todd. Well, then I see a woman, I'm already in that mindset.
Yeah.
So I had to give that up for a while. I can listen to it now, and it's still, some of it convicts me. So it's not about what you can do. In this case, AJ felt like, hey, this was having an effect on me, and I should stop. I feel like God's telling me to stop, and it's a personal conviction. So that's different.
Yes.
So it's kind of like if you're an alcoholic, if you know someone's an alcoholic, they may not be able to have a beer at all. You may be able to have one, and it doesn't make you get drunk all the time. Yeah. It's the same kind of thing.
Right.
Hopefully that makes sense. Vampire. Can't remember. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great question, though, to ask, because that's what we're here for. Like,
yes. It's my favorite genre of music, by the way. So,
hey, man, I have a whole.
Yeah, man. I would say that overall, like, it's one of those things where, yeah, I guess I have put it above God, you know, like, and I have to let that go. So
sometimes it's just, it reminds me of Abraham and Isaac, man. Sometimes it's just to see, are you willing? You know? And for me anyway, because I was able to, like, I don't feel the conviction that I can't, although I now notice lyrics more than I even used to. Where, like, because I still have some of my workout playlist, and it'll play, this just happened last week, and I'm like, yeah, and then I'm like, gosh, dang it. Because I love the beat. Or something like that. So I don't listen to my favorite music radio because it either sounds sad or has sad words. I think it feels nice to know someone else has felt that. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, it's cool that you're sharing this, dude, because it's really symbolic for a lot of the people.
Sure. Yeah, no problem at all, man. It's real talk, dude. Like you said, it's what it's all about.
Let's get through these live ones at least here.
Let's see. We have, what's the best thing that happened to you in the last year?
Exactly,
What about
John.
in the last week?
Exactly. I would put both of those. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Can you do that one more time?
Yeah. What's the best thing that happened to you in the last year? And what about in the last week?
In the last year. That's a great question, man. I know this is cliche, and I take it for granted a lot, but, man, like, the best thing that happened to me in this last year, man, is just being a part of this church, man. Like, I am so blessed. You know, I you know, even, like, just, I'm a sinner, dude. And, like, you know, I am only saved by, you know, just God's grace alone, dude. And, like, without, you know, God leading me to, you know, this church, dude, like, I don't know where I'd be for real. Like, I don't know where I'd be in life, and I don't know, like, what I'd be doing. So, like, I'm just so thankful. You know, this has been a big part of my life for the past, like, 6 years now, I believe. Maybe 7 now, which is weird. But, like, I'm so thankful at the end of the day. And I take it for granted a lot, but I'm very thankful. The last week, I would say Probably just doing our podcast, man. Doing our
was a good one
podcast,
this
yeah. It's really been it's really eye opening for me, and I got pretty emotional on this last one, so it was just good to kind of like process through things, and like you were encouraging to me, man. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, David.
Man, I don't really
hard
like
questions,
to.
aren't
Yeah, it's just like there's not a defining thing. I'm not a favorite type of person. I don't like just picking one thing. I will say my favorite, the best thing that's happened, or best, I'm gonna say best thing that happened. Sure, I'll go with the wording. I feel that in my marriage, I feel like Emma and I have matured a lot in our like one-on-one, and so I feel like when it came to conversations that used to just get out of hand, we are able to navigate them in a very mature and calm manner now, which is big for me, or actually for both of us. It's a big deal, and I feel like for our life and what we're doing, especially here at the church, it's really important that that was an area that we did grow in. So that's one of the best things that's been going on currently, is having really mature and like calm conversations, like hard conversations, even when we have conflict. It's been that's been beneficial.
Has there been any specific thing that's helped you guys get there? Like, is there a certain, maybe, I'm sure it's a lot of things, but is there anything that you give advice to someone else? It's like, hey, this was a big step for us.
Dude, you're gonna laugh. So I don't know if you're gonna laugh, but it's on both of our parts. I feel with Emma, I feel she chooses to be gentle and submissive even when I'm a fool. And it's kind of annoying because I didn't realize that was a diffuser at first. But it was like one of those things, like it made me
Hard to
feel
be
like
mad
a
in
fool.
those moments.
It is hard. So like that was one, and the other was actually pausing and I'm still working on this one, is calming down and slowing down in the moment, in the heat of the moment. And I think we both have learned how to pause and try to check our pride, like try to check our egos at the door. So that's kind of been helping. In the last week, I think one of the best things that's happened is the video editing. Honestly, it's been super fun. It's
He's
been
got a
a
video to show you. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty exciting.
Sick.
So that's
excited.
probably the best thing.
While you guys were talking, John says last year, taking part in Lionheart. We're proud of you, John.
Heck yeah, John.
Yeah, we loved having you, dude. And we're going to be celebrating that soon. I think John's comment is really good up here, too. I think I read it. Probably didn't, but he just kind of says, you discernment and just be careful of secular music in general. I think it's good. Norman says, hey, since we are using the music example, would not giving that up if you felt convicted be the same as Jesus told to go sell his possessions? If we won't give up whatever Jesus tells us to, we're putting ourselves in the same position. That's good, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Richard Ruler, yeah. That's good. He said, Norman says, best thing in the last year, vacation. Last week, realizing I carry extra weight. I love that this guy is bold because I don't share any of the goals I have, so I shared with some guys and actually made a plan for them. He said Greg says, last year, the additions of 2 more grandkids. Last week, seeing movement and weight loss down to, man, Greg loses weight like crazy.
Oh,
man.
yeah, he's killing it.
Last year, helping a fellow worker open his heart up to the Lord. Amen, Willie.
awesome.
You're up.
Dude, Willie's
We love
the
you, man. We're
I
proud
love
of you,
Willie.
dude. Yeah. He's
And
awesome
Kelsey
guy.
said the best thing that happened to me this year, she says my baby sister had a baby, and she's the cutest thing. She'll be 9 months old this month.
Oh, that is
That's awesome.
Last year, I think it still counts as years. Just being a dad, man. I love, especially if you know me. Can you find that?
Oh, yeah, I got you.
I was a guy that never that wasn't a goal of mine because, I don't know, you know me. This wasn't a goal. I wasn't against it. I wanted to have kids, but it was like more of like, it wasn't a goal.
Yeah.
It was more of like, yeah, this is what you do.
Right.
And this, not realizing the effect it's had on me as a man. One of the things I would say that it did to me, just as a little aside for people, like marriage will, relationships will in marriage, and then is wounds that it forces you to face. Particularly if you came from a childhood that was hard, like at times, I don't know, maybe you came from a challenging background.
Yeah.
Because it makes you face stuff.
Interesting.
And it's definitely done that. And man, been the best thing ever. Every day. It is not. I know that I'm that guy now that's annoying and weird to people because I love my daughter so much, but I don't care because I'll just keep doing it
That's awesome. That's so good.
because she's awesome. Last week, boy, that's tough
Yeah.
because I'm like you. I don't really think. I guess if I'm honest, sort of like that. I've been on this journey with God for a while, and every step has been real, and every step I think that's it. And that's what I'm like, all right. And I think I just had a big, really cool moment last week in the weirdest of places. Like my eyes opened or scales fell off. Then it was on a treadmill last Wednesday, and man, just feeling my heart on fire again has been really encouraging, and feeling excited again. So that's cool. Yeah, Luke says this year switching to full-time ministry this week, helping to get her deeper in my brother's heart about his wounds and feelings. Amen, Luke. That was a cool story,
Yes.
man. Amber says, I love that you love Daisy Dies on Iron. Praise God for her. Thanks. Yeah, it's been crazy.
Oh yeah, man.
Cool. Well, we have any let's get, I think we can get through these last couple, man.
Let's do it.
So we have. What has been the hardest thing for you to learn about being a man?
Hardest thing to learn about being a man.
Hardest thing about being a man. Doing hard things, man. I'm not always the best at doing hard things. You know, I've shared some of my story a little bit, but you know, for me,
That's good.
one thing that was, you know, when I was growing up is that I was pretty spoiled, man. Pretty spoiled, and you know, I didn't really have to do hard things very much, man. I didn't have to really like learn a lot of stuff. You know, it was just kind of all just like, here's everything. Go do whatever you want to do. So for me, man, it's learning new things and learning hard things for me.
Cool. Alex. David, you got anything?
I'm with AJ on that. Doing the hard things, of course, right? Because it's easy to skate by. I will say it is really hard to take. I don't know. It's hard to word what I'm thinking here. It's hard to be bold. I guess like I mentioned it. Actually, I think I mentioned it in men's group a couple weeks ago. But it's being bold and strong, but at the same time being willing to face the repercussions of that. Like I still stand with that
That's really
it's really hard to
It is, man.
to do that. Honestly, because you have to
Start
accept.
weighing it.
And that's
Yeah.
and I even said in a group like, so it probably sounds like repeat of words, but it's just like to be bold means you've accepted, like, you know, the shame that may come with it of making mistakes and being bold in the wrong way. But then there's a level of confidence that you have to apply in order to battle back to shame to continue to be bold. Because if you are bold and you mess up, then you can't just cower away in shame. You have to actually still accept the fact, like, oh, that's not the right way. Okay, I'm going to be bold again in the right way now that I've been corrected.
Yeah.
If I went about it the wrong way, and still take those steps and not
Yeah.
hide.
That's really
good,
man.
dude.
I like that. Instead of just saying, well, the whole thing was wrong, maybe my delivery or whatever else. You know what? I have one, but I really think yours is good too. The idea, and it kind of ties in of just, especially when we know how we're created, is being willing to walk forward and take the blows when you have to stand up for stuff, which is being bold. But the other thing I would say, and this is overall, that was huge for me growing as a man, for me personally, is the idea and the acceptance that your actions affect other people. Now, it sounds like, oh, well, that's not to do with being a man. It is, man. You know, no pun intended. You know, recognizing and carrying, and because I think when you're a boy, the concept of being a boy is a lot of it is I do what I want when I want, and because you know, the whole idea of like, hey, it's your life, my life, it doesn't affect you. When the truth is, it doesn't matter you're affecting someone's life.
Right.
So do you want to carry what are you doing with the weight? Somebody's watching you as a man, no matter if you think you're a leader or not. Somebody's following, and what are you doing with that weight? Are you being carrying with it? Are you taking care of it? Are you honoring the weight that you have and the people who trust in you, or are you treating it like trash?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's one of the things as a man that's something you got to realize, and I'm still working on. You know, is that recognition, sacrifice. That's good. Will, there's probably a lot easier way to. I said it can be hard to be honest. That's true.
That's good.
That makes sense. What I said. Sometimes
Absolutely,
I know
man.
I'm off of my head.
That's
No,
really good.
Good track.
I think the hardest thing for me I had to learn, and I'm still learning, is how to be gentle. What? You're awesome, Norman. The thing about you, Norman, is you know how to be gentle because I see it. You're a gentle-hearted guy. I think I know him. I think for you, it's this like the protection of I can be gentle here, even though it feels scary.
Yeah.
That is hard.
That's good.
Everything about learning to be a man has been hard on me. Well played, Amber. Well played.
Kelsey said that she was talking to her brother, and he said he couldn't fall apart. He couldn't cry. I think for him, being able to show emotions other than anger, but he's doing a lot better now and has started counseling.
You know what? I'll say something right now. No one's watching. This will be a little radical. Because Mandy actually just said this. You already know, because I teach the Remnant House guys. I say it. I've even said it to probably in Lionheart. On the surface, it's going to sound really evil. It's not, I don't think. But the concept, she's probably like, don't say this, because she literally just told me she does not like that I do this. So I kind of have a motto. It's not my number one, but like, no one's coming.
Yeah.
And the idea of this on the surface sounds really sad. Like I tell men, like, listen, you got to understand, nobody's coming to save you. I'm not talking spiritually. God's always there. God is always there. I was a believer when I realized this. But what I'm saying is, you got to live your life as a man, particularly as you're growing as a man before you're married, and understand and start taking the responsibility now. Even if you're single, even if you don't have any real responsibilities, you need to understand nobody's coming to give you a better job in your lap. Nobody's coming to give you, I might win the lottery. That's not realistic. Nobody's coming to give you a beautiful wife. Nobody's coming to give you respect. Nobody's coming to give you what you're owed. That's not going to happen. So you got to go take it the best you can, right? You got to go and put yourself in a position to find those things. And I know it can sound harsh, but I think the lie that we tell men is to just wait for it, and it creates passive men, and then people are really sad versus you got to go get it. That's right. And you got to understand it's so I think I get it. If I say no one's coming, you're like, well, Jesus is, I know that. And that's my point.
Yeah.
If you're waiting for somebody to come and give you something good, it's not going to happen.
That's good. It's part of my fight, man. It's good stuff.
Well, it took me a long time too, man. And it took me, I say this story a lot, and I know people think it's just a nerdy. So what's one thing about Christian culture is that you tell these stories and everybody's like, he's just embellishing. I wasn't. I was a homeless man, okay? And when I remember the day, I promise you, when I sat there, I had no car, no job, no money, and I was waiting. I knew Jesus. I was waiting for something to come and fix it. You know, my parents, well, they're not going to do it. They can't. Oh, this. Oh, this really nice lady who's a collector who took my license. She'll be nice to me. She was cruel to me. He was like, I'm not giving you anything. Pay the whole amount of money. So I sat there, and all of a sudden, man, it was just God saying, okay, all I got's God. Now what am I going to do? I have two options. I'm going to die, or I'm going to claw my way out. Right? And it's that idea, if I'm gonna fail, and it's kind of, we all have hinted on this, like I'm going down swinging.
Yeah.
You know, and I truly believe more often than not, when you're crawling out, you'll be amazed at where you end up, even if you're not where you thought you were gonna go.
Right.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's really good, man.
So
That's really good.
You know, and not to pick on Manny, because I think if I said that to another woman, they're all going to say amen right now probably. But if I was saying that to you and I'm in a relationship with you and I'm telling your son that, or I'm telling your brother or someone you care about, it's going to sound harsh.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is, it's preparation.
It is.
You know, let me ask you three. Did anybody come and make your life better magically?
No.
Like,
No,
I'm not talking about your wife, all that. So ladies, I'm saying you yourself, when you're single, did Emma just come over and go, hi, I want to marry you? Did that happen?
No.
If you know their story, it didn't happen, right? But you did what you had to do to get to the place where that stuff falls in place.
Yeah.
So, so anyway, just a thought.
I
Yeah,
agree
it's really
with
good, man.
I'm sure some people are like, you evil devil.
that. Oh,
It's like-
gosh. Okay. It won't be typed. You're good.
Kelsey says no one's coming sounds like a Walking Dead episode. See? It's true, though.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that, you know, I think is the difference between men and women, too. It's kind of like, have you seen Facing the Giants? We talk about that. There's a scene in it. You've probably seen the clip where he's
Brock?
like, keep going,
Yes.
going, he's
Oh, yeah,
screaming.
yeah,
And I'll never
Each
forget,
other
everyone
says.
ever says, like, I would just make me quit. Because I'm there crying, like, in a good way, like, it's so inspiring. Like, I would just quit. So the idea of no one's coming, you know, sometimes I think, not every lady, but they'd be like, well, that's hopeless. I'm like, not to me. It makes me go, well, I'm not going to sit here and die. Like,
No,
I'm going to get
I'm
out of
gonna
here.
sit there.
It's pretty.
There was a time in my life where I would have.
Me
I
too.
would have just rolled over.
Exactly, dude. That's what
Right.
I mean by that's a hard part to learn, right? And it kind of ties with that. And you learned it, and not a lot of guys do. So you can see there's successful guys on the surface. They got good jobs, good wives on the surface, happy family, and they go home and their life is gray and meaningless and empty because they just let the current of their life not be directed by God. That's not what I'm saying here, but be like, whatever, this is it.
Yeah.
And
This
God
is
gives
all
us
it- yeah.
choices, man. So,
Yep. It's true.
and every guy would say, yeah, I'm like that too. And I'm like, no, you're not, dude.
no,
you're
definitely
not.
not. It's a
You know?
fight, man.
You want a better job? Quit waiting for somebody to come give you a better job. Go get the better job.
Yeah.
You know, and like, well, my great uncle Bobby, someone came and gave him this great, incredible job worth $1 million. I go, yeah, that probably happened.
great.
Now look at the statistics of that.
Yeah, it's
I don't
very
have a
rare,
great
man.
uncle Bobby. He ain't coming to me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep. It's good, man.
yeah,
Speaking
that's
of
the
me.
negative side of it, Luke. And I'm glad you brought that up because him and I have shared this. Like the negative side of him and I saying that, because he had a similar mindset, is that you can end up coming to a place that you feel like it doesn't matter what I share. That's the dark side of it. Like I'm not going to show my hurt here because nobody cares anyway. That's the negative side of it.
Yeah.
And that is true. So I'm glad you brought that up, Luke, you guy that's convicting me slightly while you say it. Anyway, I'm sure you'll ever be a man. Everything. He's got good stuff here.
Yeah, man.
Emma says, I think that's good advice. You have to work for things you want. True train. Yes, amen. And you know what? A lot of the older men are saying that too. All of us, you know, that have been there. Moving forward when my flesh does not want to. Well, that's true. And Luke says, learning that I don't want to have to carry all my stuff and all my family stuff on my own because I haven't had the no one is coming mentality, but in a poisoning way and let others into it. Yeah, me too, man. I can still slide into that. When I'm in hurt, I just talked about this. So weird. This is conviction. So I realized this week, and it's embarrassing, that when I feel mistrust, and I don't know if you get this, because we've talked a little bit about our not trusting people. I've realized I can almost go into, let me finish, a manic place, but it doesn't look manic. And what I mean by manic is, in that moment, all I'm thinking of is like, I got to survive. No one's with me. Everyone's against me. I'm like in a tunnel, you know, and I didn't realize I view it that way, but
Yeah.
I'm on my own, completely on my own. You get what I mean? Now it's a little different because in that moment, I'm like, Daisy, I have to make sure she's good. But other than that, I have nothing. It has nothing to do with not like my wife or anything. It's the mindset.
I see
Yeah.
what you're saying.
You know, it's the negative
I know what you're
mindset of
talking
like
about.
when you grow up, because I think what happens with men is you should, as a child, grow up and realize like, because it's modeling the father, you have someone there who's going to care and support you, right? But you come to a place in manhood, you know, what looks cute at 20 doesn't look cute at 35.
Yep.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Sorry, that was a rant probably.
No,
but-
it's good stuff, man. I hope people are listening. For real. It's good
Nice
stuff.
discussion. Get ready for bed. I'll be a zombie tomorrow. Good night. Thanks for coming. Vamp.
Good night.
I'm going to call you Vamp from now on. Anyway, is there anything else or is that it?
We got a couple more.
Let's
We
slide
wanna
them
go
in,
over?
man. Let's finish them.
get it.
All right.
They did it tonight. They deserve an answer tonight.
Let's see.
Unless, David, you
One
gotta go.
is,
No, we're chilling.
what does it mean to truly let go and give it to God?
Wait, man, you didn't put those other ones in?
Oh, no, I have those. Let's do those.
Yo, Mac.
Yeah,
You're
let's
giving
do
the good
those.
ones. Yeah, man, let's put those up
It says,
too.
don't dodge my question, you log. And then it says, yo,
Exactly,
Maverick,
Luke. Exactly.
who's your favorite cast member?
And we've
I
talked
appreciate
about
you
that,
not
which
letting
has
him
been great
skip
to meet you.
questions.
Having a
Oh,
brother
yeah.
that understands that. The answer, don't dodge my question, Yule Log. Yo, Maverick, who's your favorite cast member? I appreciate you not letting him skip questions. Well, first of all, that's a setup. So the easy answer would be say
100%.
David.
100%. Yeah. yeah.
No.
No, I mean this genuinely. I love all the guys, and I'm being serious for a minute. I love all the guys. If any of these guys aren't here, and I mean it, it's kind of like church. It's the weirdest thing. And I know it seems politically correct. If any of these guys were not here, it doesn't feel right. It's just that's the way it is. So
Yeah, man.
that is hilarious though, and I'm never gonna let him skip. And thank you that you got my nickname correct. That I self gave myself.
And the next one also relates back to AJ earlier. And it says, here's a hint, AJ. Don't quit. Don't quench the Holy Spirit.
Nice.
Thank you.
Oh, hey Norman, I got you. I'll get that in just a second. I guess I can do it now. He says, Todd, I don't know if you missed my question. Do you think the Joy Challenge has helped you feel that fire in your heart again? Yeah, man, it definitely does make a difference. A little weird. It's hard to explain that. And you know what's funny? I'm not gonna lie. There's a couple days I missed it. But here's the thing. I did it later, and I did even in the middle of the day. But remembering, this is what's weird. Even if I wasn't able to do it, remembering that I was going to do it put me in a different frame of mind.
Nice.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it made me remember why I'm doing it.
That's what's so good.
So, which is the whole point of it, was to kind of get you out of the rut
Yeah.
of
Yes.
life. So good
That's really
question,
good.
man. I think in a way it did, but the fire specifically, I guess if I'm being honest, no. I don't know. It could have been. Who knows what God's doing in my spirit? But like I said, I've been on a journey for a while, and I was watching. I'll just be honest. Those who watch, I've been watching these pastors that everybody calls false prophets. I've been watching them all, and I'm not going to stop because I'm sick and tired of it without knowing. And I'm watching this guy who's considered a false teacher. I won't say his name yet, but I do not believe is a false teacher. I understand why they say it, but I do not think he is. I want to go to another big name guy here soon that I probably will address because Yeah.
Silver
But the
Nest.
first guy, I was listening to him, and it was funny because it wasn't even the sermon. I started thinking about the fact that this guy, I was like, they are calling this guy, and nothing this guy said, even though he's doing this, he hasn't talked scripture yet. I don't either. Sometimes at the intro, everything none of it's non-biblical. Not a singular thing he said is not biblical. But because you don't like his delivering, you believe that he is wrong. You get what I mean? And then
Yeah.
that got me on this train of thought of like, I almost started like, why am I not say this stuff anymore? Because I don't want to. I'm tired of getting arrows shot at me even though it's the truth. So anyway,
Interesting.
it's
It's good
bonus
stuff,
for you.
man. I love it.
What's next, my friend?
Up next, what does it mean to truly let go and give it to God?
That ties back to the other questions of forgiveness.
Yeah, man. I'd say just kind of remembering remembering your situation and like,
I'm happy
and
for you.
also
I'm glad you came.
remembering who God is, man, and like remember that He knows He's out for your good, and that when you give stuff to Him, even though it may be hard in the moment, there's something better. There always is something better. So like, just try to remember that.
David, you got any thoughts on that?
I feel this, and like it does go back to the whole forgiveness thing, but I feel that to truly let go is to is to not control. Just choose to not control whatever it is.
That's good, man.
Because a lot of times when I get held back or tied up on things, just because I want to, that's literally it. I try to I was going to rephrase what I just got done saying, but control it.
Just trying to grasp on whatever you can.
Right. And it's hard just to look past stuff.
Yeah.
So good, man. I think I wouldn't add anything. I think you said it. I think it means letting go of the outcome. That's
Yeah,
right
that's a
on.
good way of
Letting
putting
go
it.
of the
Yeah, that's a
outcome.
good way
I
to
wouldn't
put
have
it.
thought of it if you hadn't said what you said. So, yep, I agree. Next. Bad.
Next, we got a pretty real one that came in. And it says, do you ever have thoughts of self-harm? And how do you combat it if you do? Earlier this week, I was in such a bad place that I had to throw an eyebrow razor across the room so I didn't hurt myself with it. I've been struggling so much with this lately, and I really need advice from fellow believers.
So, I know for me, that feeling hasn't. There's only been a couple times in my life where I felt this way.
But you did feel that way.
Yes, but I did. So you're not alone. For me, I had to make it known to others.
That's huge.
Yep, I had to make it known to others because I could feel the darkness was so strong, and I knew that if I were to carry that myself, it was scary. It was scary.
Yeah.
So my best advice to you is find people if you have them, and if you don't find them, is just people that you can tell this to, and they'll be there for you. Because that helped me a ton. Being able to not hold that in with only me, because it was so heavy. It was hard.
Any thoughts of that?
Mm,
It is heavy. I'm really glad I'm really proud of you for being honest enough to even share it here.
yeah.
But I would echo with AJ real fast that you definitely, go tell someone in person too.
Yeah.
Even if you know us and you're someone here, come and tell us in person so we
Yeah.
can speak to you, because that's really important. The lies can get really loud when you're in your own head.
So
They
loud,
really,
man.
really can. I personally have not had thoughts of self-harm. I guess, per se, is destructive in a different manner. But when it came to combating, I'm gonna have to honestly, it's what AJ said, because any form of harm to oneself was typically done by myself.
Yeah.
So, honestly, it is bringing it to light and trying to have somebody walk it out with you, an accountability, someone, a partner per se.
Yeah.
Just someone to walk it out with you. Someone just bring it to somebody that you really trust, and pray about it.
That's huge, man.
It's big.
Yeah.
You said, because they said they're a believer, fellow believer, and that means you believe. God is not going to leave you there. He's not. And the other thing I would say, it sounds corny again because I think everything that's good has become corny in our culture. But
Yeah.
having an anchor verse, that's what I kind of call it that too, and we do around here, is like having a verse that reminds you the truth. So for me, when I was going through the period of my life where I felt that way, it was during that period. Like almost, I would keep a verse, and that's how I know it. Romans 8:1 for me. There's no condemnation in Christ. Romans 8:18. I consider that our present sufferings are not worthy to be compared to the glory that will be revealed in us. Like the promise, I'll work out all things for the good of those who believe according to His purposes. Right now, the here is not the end of the story. So don't believe the lie that it is. It's kind of like if you're going up a mountain and you've been walking up for 2 or 3 days, and you're tired and you're weary and you're cold, and it's like maybe you can't. There's a tree line. You don't know when you're going to crest that, but you're going to, and you just got to keep going. So I love that you said that. So to sum it up, tell someone. You need to tell someone so they can speak truth and pray with you. Pray, and then cling to God's truth.
That's good.
So Kelsey did say in relation to our last question about letting go, I think, she said, I hope it doesn't mean that you ignore the situation and hope for the best. I think that, I'm going to be honest, Kelsey, I'm going to push back a little on that. I think that I think letting go of the outcome is the most not ignoring the situation there is, because I'm acknowledging it and I'm saying God don't have control of the outcome. Maybe we should have made this clear. Clearly, you should do everything that you can do. I guess I assumed it came to a point where you're at the end of doing what you can do.
You're right.
Right? So if it's a relationship and you've tried to go make it right, best you can to make peace, you've done this, you've done that, and it's still not gone. If it's financial, you've done everything you can. At the end of the day, the outcome, you've got to understand, a lot of times we'll start thinking we have to almost sacrifice to God to get him to do what we want. Like if we plead enough, if I beg enough, if I do good enough deeds, if I try harder, and sometimes you just got to rest and trust that he has your good out for you.
Yeah.
Right.
That's hard. I'm not saying that is easy, because what he thinks is good and what I think is good sometimes in the short term are not the same
It's the
thing.
opposite, right?
Let's see here. Sure, we got Greg says, childlike faith, no fear, and total trust. You will catch me. Short-term talk, that's good. Short-term talk is talk to someone and pray. Long-term, you need to figure out why you don't value yourself. That's true. Yeah. I think even in the midst of the worst, you have to remember who you are and who God says you are. I do agree letting people in is a big deal.
Yeah.
Finding someone to talk, to pray, and remembering who this will affect in your life. That's good too, because people do love you.
Yeah.
That's the big lie.
That's good, man. Good point.
Whether
Jay.
see it or not, your hurt also hurts someone. For me, I just need accountability. Having someone that will randomly check in on me is what holds me back sometimes. There's been a lot of times where Amber has asked me randomly, and I've had to tell her the truth, and then we talk it out and everything okay. That's really good, Sydney, and really brave of you to admit.
Yeah.
I feel like I was rushing through there. It was a great show,
good.
man.
It's good
Is
stuff.
that it?
Kelsey did say on the tube, she said, letting go is different than ignoring. That's exactly what I meant. Sorry, I wasn't
Oh, that's
clear.
okay. I know you. But you could handle it here's the thing about Kelsey. On the surface, you're like, oh, she's just pure gentle all the time. I was like, no.
She's a savage.
Yes, she is.
She insulted my parking.
Oh, yeah. For no, and
Last
she
month.
does it in such a way that you have to go, wait, did you
just do
she's
that?
very clever in her insults. She wraps them in like almost kind, like gentleness. And you're like, yeah, wait a minute. You just called me an idiot. No.
Yeah. Did you just have to reverse and repark?
No. You must keep stepping out of the boat. That's good.
dude.
Is that it? Hey, great show today. David,
was awesome.
you killed it, man. I knew you would.
David, you're the man.
Oh, you blew that up, man. You're killing me. You guys do that.
That's how we do it,
You guys
man.
change it.
You're the man. Appreciate you, Austin. He's over there falling asleep. Back on the back, the guys, production guy. You did a fantastic job today. I put a lot on you that you didn't
MVP,
know.
baby.
I hope you're waving. That's awesome, and not telling us
I
we're
am.
off air. And then Fun Turn, I have no idea what you're doing back there, but I'm sure it was awesome. And you did a ton of Fun Turn puts all these show notes together,
He's dancing.
which is he's getting. It's just awesome. It's
Oh,
huge
absolutely.
for us,
It's really
and you
cool.
guys are the biggest stars of all. Thank you so much. If you haven't done this and you like the show at all, like you like this concept and you like the deep part of it, go check out our web series on podcasts on Spotify. You type in Real Talk Web Series. You got to put that because we've got some posers that are stealing our stuff. Real Talk Web Series, and we go into this little depth. Give us a review. If you have not given us a review and you listen to the podcast, like if you listen to it on Spotify, you're silly. We need you. Like, share. We need to know that people are liking this. Otherwise, we have time.
Absolutely.
I mean, like it takes a lot of time and effort. It really does. She's Sydney, you're so ridiculous. Great job. I mean, David, I think you're really cool, and I appreciate you. Thank you guys. Thank you. We love you.
Thank you.
Great job, and fellas. Todd, I love you the most. That's ridiculous. Thank you guys for doing this every week. You always bless my heart. Oh, thank you. Great talk tonight. Love it and love you guys. Sydney goes AJ ... You know her real hard. So, anything else?
Kelsey did say, David doesn't know that he called Native a savage.
Oh my goodness gracious!
That is the
And
funniest
that
thing.
is proof.
Well, I about passed out, man.
That's
oh
messed up.
boy.
That is so
Oh
funny.
boy.
Oh, that's hilarious. Anyway,
Oh,
we
man.
love you guys so much. Like, share all that beautiful stuff. If you are listening, you don't have a home church and you're nearby, whether it's now or in the future, check us out. The page is right here. The Remnant Church. Give us a like and a follow and come check us out. We'd love to see you, meet you in person. Other than that, have a great day. We'll hopefully see you next week, same time. Have a great day and God bless you.